Test, 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 test. Okay. Weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Is the music... Can you hear the music? That's another question. Alright. Okay. Hold on. Output. Audio track is number 2. Twitch VOD is number 1. Okay, so I want... Audio track. Do we have to be able to hear... See? Bob is being mean to me again, comment. Bob is being mean to me. Make him stop! Why are you being mean? Bob is being mean to me. Bob is being so mean! Alright, hold on. I gotta fix this. Okay. Twitch VOD. Okay, Twitch VOD should be able to hear that now. And Discord will be able to...
People are getting so many ciphers on the current game.
That it's a sign, I think.
Yeah,
right,
there's like
I was actually
3 out of like
on the server.
There's 3.
Oh, I forgot I was streaming.
We got another cipher!
Oh my gosh.
We are now at 4 total ciphers with 1 Freya and 1 Toast. That's it. It's an abnormality. An anomaly of some kind, you might say.
Wait, say that again?
I need to post part 2.
A great anomaly?
Like, actually post part 2. But...
Virgil just laughed sarcastically from the other side of the room.
I can hear him laughing in the background. Hi, Virgil.
Everyone says hi. Hi, everyone. He says hi, everyone. Alright, let me... Why is Mika not in here?
I need to actually post part 2.
There we go. Okay. It's you and me, comments.
The thing is, I stopped making the, sweet. I stopped posting the, Solace, like, explaining the lore or the SMP badly, because I got to the point where I'm like, damn, has this been revealed yet? Or is this a flashback that Freya told me about that I'm not supposed to reveal yet? So that's why I haven't posted part 2.
That's funny.
But now, I think it has indeed officially, because I didn't want to leak lore. I think it was specifically about how, like, close Eclipse and Cypher were, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to, like, I don't want to leak lore, so.
That's funny. For those who are looking at the stream, Mika made this. These little cherry things.
You call me?
The cherry is so cute.
Hi, Mika. And then look at this whale. Look at this whale. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I love whales.
It has a daffodil.
You got it?
It has a daffodil. My favorite flower.
Whoa,
Mom, my
so
favorite
cute.
animal.
Bro,
so
thank
soft.
Virgil, he came in clutch with the gift. I was like, hey, give me her favorite animal, her favorite flower.
Did he know both?
He knew both. And also your favorite colors.
He's right there.
That's fun, man.
I made it pink-ish because I couldn't find any yellow yarn that was like really
it's
soft.
cute. I love it. It's so cute. This is like my favorite shades of pink too.
Yay.
I love it so much. I need to name it. I feel like naming it Henry
Bob's
for some
praising
reason.
Virgil.
Henry's the whale.
Henry the whale.
I was
and
thinking
then we
of
have
giving him a
Toast.
top hat too.
Top hat.
I was thinking, yeah, but
Henry and
what I
Toast.
said was like, nah. I was like, nah.
I'm sleeping like I don't have like. Look, I may be 27, but I do sleep with stuffed animals still. This
Me too.
is gonna be my sleep stuffed animal because I couldn't bring any of my stuffed animals from home.
Yeah.
This thing.
What I said also, good thing to make sure you don't wash it.
Oh yeah, no,
Those-
yeah. My mom makes crochet stuff too. Okay. Let's go on up to the top.
So much shit has happened.
So much has happened, but we are gonna go over all the ball stuff today. Which starts
Yippee!
up
With
here.
Marcelo
I need-
document.
Yes.
One second.
Well, it actually starts. We're gonna start with
grab
yours
socks.
because it technically comes first. You're the crocheter in your family. Every family has one, and they're invaluable.
Mhm. Yep.
You're stuck behind a Stranger Things ad. Oh no. All right. Here we go, gang. I'm gonna turn down the music for myself. It was cold at the Arcturus land. The path from my home to Arcturus was mainly covered with slight snow and the biting cold of the morning. It reminded me of Malaron, of the 4 cold months we had to endure due to our planet's orbit. I shook my head, stepping onto the footsteps of the captain's house. My hands held the gift bag in front of me. The bag had a spaceship print on it, orange and red gift paper poking out of it. I looked at it, anxious that the captain would be outside already. Maybe he was roaming Arcturus, or what if he didn't like the gift? I knew he would appreciate it no matter what. He wasn't one to be ungrateful, but I was still worried. My eyes stayed glued to the gift, thinking about how childish it looked now that I was right in front of the captain's house. I could have picked something better, maybe a watch, like how Dad would have wanted. I shook my head. No, Mira, the captain isn't as short-tempered as Dad used to be. Everything will be fine. If he doesn't like it, he'll probably still appreciate it, right? My hand rose shakily to knock on the door. The wood resounded into the echo of the porch as I knocked. A few seconds passed by. I could hear some movement inside. Probably the captain cleaning up breakfast if the smell of pancakes were anything to go by. The door opened to reveal the captain in his usual clothes. He was freshly shaven and his eye bags weren't as prominent as usual. Happy birthday, I smiled, praising the gift a little. His eyes widened for a second before he smiled. You're quite the early bird today, Mira. He took the gift by the handles of the bag. He nodded his head, inviting me inside. Is that bad? My voice sounded a bit more nervous than I wanted to show. He walked to the kitchen. His favorite mug was resting on the table with fresh coffee. He placed the gift down onto the table, making sure it wasn't near his cup in case of a spill. His plate had a half-eaten pancake. A bowl with some cut fruit rested next to it. No, it's always good to have you visit. He stopped and raised an eyebrow. Did you eat breakfast yet? Yeah. My stomach growled in disagreement as I gazed at the stack of pancakes by the stove. The captain didn't seem convinced and walked back to the kitchen with a sigh. I mean, I ate. I tried to remember the dinner I ate last night only to come up empty. Maybe I did need food. The captain placed a plate with 2 pancakes on the table alongside a cup with milk. He sat at his seat, grabbing his fork and continuing to eat his pancake. Aren't you supposed to be relaxing, birthday boy? I sat down, giving in to hunger and picking up the pancake. It was a little bit burnt, but it was good nevertheless. I'll relax when I'm dead. Now eat your pancakes, he chuckled, reaching for his coffee. He took a sip of the liquid. He did seem a bit more relaxed than usual. I was glad. Between managing an entire planet and constructing a new ship, he must have been under a lot of pressure. He deserved at least his birthday to celebrate. Where's Freya? I looked around, noticing her absence. I hadn't seen her at her treehouse either. I wondered if she was around the community center. She came by earlier, but she had said she had to work on a very secret project. He spoke into his mug, taking another sip. Are you going to the ball? Half the planet will be there. I glanced at him. His lips were still on the mug, but I could catch the way his cheeks moved slightly upward. A ball? For me? Mira, you shouldn't have, he said with a big fake smile. I feigned a gasp. Of course! It's the least I can do. Would you prefer to wave at the crowd on a horse or a palanquin? I chuckled a bit as he leaned back into his chair. Palanquin, of course.
Gosh.
You expect me to trot around on a horse like any old fool on my birthday? He replied, sticking his nose in the air as he looked away.
Oh my god.
I bit my lip
I
trying-
love them so much!
I did. I was there when they wrote this. It was fantastic. I bit my lip trying not to laugh at the image
Oh
of
my
Marcello
God.
wearing royal robes and a crown. I finished my pancakes quickly, making sure not to leave crumbs behind. The captain sipped at his drink. Oh! Virgil brought me pasta! Let's go!
Fire.
I turned up the
Awesome.
saturation way too high on my camera. I apologize. The captain sipped at his drink, his eyes glancing at the gift every so often. He was curious. That's something I learned relatively early when I would talk about useful skills he picked up since Solace was created. I cleared the dishes off the table and put them in the sink. It was the least I could do for him today. I caught him peering eagerly through the tissue paper when I turned the corner back into the dining room. I hope you like it. I sat down on my chair, twiddling my fingers as he inspected the gift. He looked at me before he opened the bag. The paper crinkled as he removed it from the bag and placed it down onto the table. He reached his hand inside, picking up the letter and the box. He opened the letter, and I stared at his face as he read it. His expression slowly shifted from intrigue to surprise, and then an expression I couldn't pinpoint. I looked away as he placed the letter down and picked up the box to open. Oh, you guys want a bite? Open wide.
No.
Yummy. Here comes the plane.
What did I tell you about? What did I tell you about feeding the stray pets? Can't keep doing
Yeah,
it.
hand version of the blueberry one for
Do what?
the blueberry.
Do what
the
about
blueberries? The headphone thing.
Oh yeah, Virgil. Mika made these for you.
Oh,
You see how they are on my headphones? You can put them on yours.
oh my gosh, that's so cute.
So we will match.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna have matching ones. That's so cute.
What did Virgil just call us? Stray pets.
Dog,
Fucking
aren't you
cucumber.
really turning into a dog?
That's insane.
What?
That's insane. Okay. It belonged to my father. He said that heroes earned them. I think you would agree that you deserve it. He opened the box and removed the shiny golden cord. It was braided to resemble flowers. Officers in Malaron could wait their whole lives without a chance to receive the honor of wearing these cords. He handled it with care, inspecting it as it laid on his palm. He remained silent as he stared at it. Did he not like it? Oh god, I made it awkward, didn't I? Well, it probably isn't that significant compared to your medals. It's okay if you don't like it. I tried to smile, probably failing to hide my anxiety. I should have just bought him a gift. He probably would have preferred that. I do like it, Mira. This is an amazing gift. He glanced up at me with a smile. I felt my shoulders relax, letting out a sigh I didn't know I was holding. I smiled, relieved that he liked the gift. You said it belonged to your father? He was a police officer, right? He carefully placed the cord back in the box. What was the original reason for the award? I looked down at the box, remembering the ceremony when my father received it. He had bandages around his neck and torso, but I remember the burn mark on the back of his hand. Accidents back in Malaron were scarce. A city built with failsafe after failsafe stopped them before they even happened. I heard the story of how my dad went in, saving a family stuck in an apartment unit. During the ceremony, he was cheered on as a hero. My sister was propped onto his shoulder as he cheered with his patrol friends. It was a sweet memory that I held close. Well, my father got it from saving a family from a burning building. I know some other officers got it from rescuing hostages or other acts of aid. I looked at the captain as he nodded, closing the box with a soft click. He placed the box down, folding the letter and placing it on top. I looked down at him as he started to stand up. Oh! I stood up, making him pause. Captain, could I ask you something? I looked at him, my anxiety raising again. Sure, what is it? He stood over the table, hand on the back of his chair. I paused for a second, feeling a knot in my stomach. Well, me and Dante decided on the day for a wedding, and we're still deciding on some of the roles. Marcelo raised his eyebrows with curiosity. I inhaled a bit, fighting through the fear.
Oh my god.
Could you walk me down the aisle? I felt my voice crack as I spoke. I couldn't look up to meet his eyes. Comment just beating the table.
Sorry.
Gosh, why couldn't I just ask through the comms? But again, that would be disrespectful. I moved my hands to play with a strand of my hair. I didn't know if he would reject it. Oh man, what if he felt obligated to accept? You don't have to, I sputtered. It's just that I feel at home here because of your help. I learned so much because you allowed me to. Mira, I'd be honored. I looked up to see the captain smiling. Not the polite smile he used in public, but a genuine smile. I felt my heartbeat relax at this expression, stopping from messing with my hair. Really? I exclaimed. He nodded his head firmly. I leapt out of my chair, nearly knocking him over as I embraced him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I jumped in place. He chuckled and hugged me back. You're welcome, kid.
Oh, that's
How
so
was it?
cute. Oh my god,
My
I need to
heart.
feel like I Yeah, I need to draw.
Please draw it.
I need to draw. I need art.
I need art.
Comment says as they pull out a freaking iPad, nothing to draw aggressively.
Yeah, jokes on you. I literally do have my iPad.
All right.
I
This one-
literally did pull it. I literally did just pull it out.
This one was written by Virgil. This is Marcello's birthday. The closest thing to fluff we'll ever get for the next year or so. So true. No, the stuff that happens right before the ball is all so wholesome. As soon as the ball happened, it all goes to shit.
We had to make you okay. We have to soften it before the heavy blow comes.
Yeah, it's true. Wind up before the punch. All right. Finally, after spending months setting up machine shops to make the parts for the new ship, I get some time off. Solace has been hectic recently with all the psychos on the loose, and things with Arcturus folks have been even busier. Freya decided I needed a day off for my birthday, and I was finally too tired to argue with her. We took my shuttle up into orbit around Solace, and I let the autopilot take over. I sat in the pilot seat and just admired the view. Nothing ever really compares to being in space. Faster-than-light travel almost makes us forget just how far apart things are. It would take me thousands of years to travel to the next closest star at this speed. Solace is almost as breathtaking as Earth is from up here. Just for today, all of my problems are down there, where they can't reach me. Freya was making some noises in the back of the shuttle that drew my attention. When I looked at her, she had taken out a cake and a wrapped-up gift. Freya, you didn't need to do all this. The shuttle ride was enough, I said. But it's your birthday. If you don't celebrate it, I'll do it for you. She smiled back at me. First, the cake, she said. She sat the cake out on a small pop-out table. It had 43 candles placed unevenly across the top. I haven't celebrated a birthday like this in decades, I said, as a small smile snuck across my lips. We're going to do this every year from now on, so get used to it. She smiled back at me. Freya snapped her fingers and all the candle wicks were lit. Happy birthday, Marcello, she said with a giant grin on her face. Blow out your candles so we can eat the cake and I can give you your present. I took a deep breath and blew out all the candles in one long sweeping motion. Who said unk? Truffle. It's true, he is unk.
Unk.
In...
You sound like Mr. Krabs.
What? Who sounded like... Hi, Bagel. Freya cut the cake into even slices and put one on a plate for me. The cake was delicious, and I had a couple of slices before Freya finally insisted I open my gift. She handed me a box-shaped object covered in wrapping paper. It was about the length of my forearm, and was about a quarter of that in width and height. I began tearing the wrapping paper to reveal a wooden box with 2 small metal latches. I unlatched both of them, and inside was an incredibly detailed model of the Arcturus. It came with a stand that sat perfectly in a cutout on top of the box. I lifted it out of the felt lining inside of the box and held it up to the light. This is incredible. I don't know what to say, I said to Freya, still in shock. I looked over every square centimeter of the model. It was made of metal and had a million tiny details that made it feel like a scale replica of my old ship. Do you like it? She asked. Like it? This is amazing. I love it. Thank you. I smiled back at her and sat the model back into the box. I placed the box back onto the table and gave Freya a long hug. This gift means a lot to me. Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Oh my god, guys, they hugged.
They hugged!
They touched!
They touched! Oh my god.
I haven't said in any official lore stuff that they even hold hands. They're very, like... They haven't gotten comfortable with each other yet, I feel. Like, they're comfortable as friends, but they haven't, like, gotten romantically comfortable yet, you know? Anyway. I'm glad you like it. It took a lot of effort to make a model that small, she said. I can imagine. I used to build some models like this when I was a kid, but I haven't had the opportunity to make another one in a long time, I replied. How many models did you have? She asked. Nearly 24 by the time I went to the academy. I was meant to get back into the hobby, but I somehow just never found the time. I hope the model brings back a lot of fond memories for you. I can always make more if you want. Thank you, it will, and I'll always think of today when I look at it. I looked at Freya, who was wide-eyed and grinning ear to ear. I don't need any more models, though. The Arcturus is the first ship I ever served on as captain, and it has a lot more meaning than anything else you could have gotten me. I'm so happy you like it. I wasn't sure if you would. It's the perfect gift, Freya, thank you. I finished. Freya looked back at the table and then said, "Now, let's finish the cake and get ready for the ball tonight."
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! Alright.
Oh, Croy.
Croy and Kron.
Oh.
I had to come to a compromise with Kron that they could keep their trench coat on in order to get them into something appropriate for the event. Better than nothing, heh. Ties are bullshit, but Croy let me play with the white rabbit from a few days ago before we started going to the ball after he fixed the tie. It followed me, I think. What are you doing? Stay still for a second, I need to fix your tie. What's wrong with my tie? You did not tie it right. Yes, I did. You just tied it into 50 random knots, bud. Is that not right? No, do not worry. I've got it. This is so wholesome.
I love them.
I love Corinne Kron
Oh,
so much.
knowing what happens.
Yeah. I learned what happened while we were doing a marketing video. I was like, yeah. All right. We have this wonderful art, which we'll look at in a second. It's beautiful. Oh, sorry, I'm blinding you. All right, this is the ball from Freya's perspective. I feel like I need to play like dramatic music. Is Christmas music too? Should I play a dramatic music?
Play just that.
We want like
Play Trans-Siberian Orchestra if you want Christmas. If you want Christmas and dramatic.
True. What if I want just like orchestral music? Ballroom, not ballroom music, like
You could play If
ball
Only from your own
dancing.
playlist. That would fit.
Music. No AI stream safe.
You could play If Only.
No, I'm not playing my own music.
Damn.
Maybe Royal Ball. Royal Ball.
Fire.
Classical music for ball. Here we go. Okay, this is fine. I just, you gotta have have the setting right. Carol of the Bells. I'm not playing Carol of the Bells. All right. The party had finally slowed down. The lights dimmed and couples were pairing up to dance in the center of the room. I took a sip of my hot chocolate. I usually like to fill it halfway with marshmallows, but the bar didn't have any. Oh well. Marcello's drink of choice for the evening seemed to be something alcoholic, probably brandy. That stuff was too bitter for me, not to mention I couldn't experience the effects. He was sipping absent-mindedly across the table from me, observing the crowd. We were some of the only people still seated. My excuse was that I didn't know how to dance. I mean, where was a Lumaran supposed to learn? There weren't any dance instructors on Solace, and I was saving watching Footloose for later, so I was left with no options. But it was fine. I liked watching. The light from the chandelier reflected off the metal of crowns, jewelry, and ceremonial armor as the dancers moved across the floor. The orchestra's music bounced perfectly off the ceiling, filling the room with the warm tone of the strings. It was mesmerizing. I could pick out a few friends in the sea of people. Ladice was dancing with Terushno. I was so happy seeing them finally together. I caught a glimpse of Comet through a break in the dancers. Their antlers were strung with jewelry that shimmered under the lights. It did make me a little sad to miss out on the fun, but what could I do? Planning on joining them? I turned my head to Marcello, his eyebrows raised inquisitively as he took another sip from his glass. If I did, I think I'd end up tripping someone, I chuckled. I don't know how to dance. I had heard Mira use the phrase 2 left feet one time. Well, if some people have 2 left feet, I have a right foot and a left foot just on the wrong sides. Neither do I. He pushed his chair back from the table and downed the last of his drink. This did not sound like a good idea. Maybe he should have opted for hot chocolate. I hesitated to take his outstretched hand. You guys can hear Virgil in the background?
I heard him laugh.
Oh. I don't know, Marcello, I grimaced. I don't want someone getting hurt because of me. He paused and thought for a moment. I heard the crowd applaud as the orchestra ended their song and moved to a slow waltz. The sound resonated through the building. It was beautiful. My thoughts wandered back to earlier in the day when we took Marcello's shuttle up in orbit around Solace. He wanted to be as far from work as possible for his birthday, so up we went. He'd always belonged to the stars. He said all of his problems seemed insignificant when he was up there, and by looking down on our planet, seeing our blue-green marble all at one time, it started to make sense. By some miracle, the cake I baked him survived the trip. It wasn't much, just a simple chocolate fudge, but he said he loved it. I have an idea. I was brought back to reality by Marcello grabbing my hand. I stood up from my chair and followed him. He led us around the crowd and through the archway at the back that led outside. A few others were grouped there, laughing and admiring the view. Marcello and I continued down the steps towards the garden. It was quiet. I could hear the wind rustling through the trees, interrupted only by our steps down the stone staircase. I hoped he wasn't going to be too cold. I wasn't able to tell. We continued down the path a bit until we found a clearing. Perfect, he smiled. I could still hear the music echoing gently from the balcony. The grass underneath us was soft. At least if I knocked him over, he wouldn't be hurt. So, I asked, what do we do now? I wasn't sure where to even start with dancing. Mira had told me a few basic things on the walk here, but I'd all but forgotten them. Well, he turned towards me. I guess we should stand a little closer together. I let out a nervous chuckle and Marcello cleared his throat as we moved in. The light from the windows reflected in his eyes. They looked like stars. My right hand was still in his. He hadn't let it go since he grabbed it in the ballroom. I remember that most of the dancers inside had their hands around each other in some way, but I couldn't remember who did what. I decided to guess and moved my free hand to Marcello's waist. He laughed and moved it up to his shoulder. Oops. He placed his hand on my back and pulled me in a bit more. Our feet were almost touching. I'd never been so close to him before. See, they don't even hug. Well, I guess they had just hugged earlier in the day, but anyway.
Probably not based off of real life.
Slow burn.
Slow burn. The slowest burn of all time. They're already dating and they're not
Next
even.
year.
Try to follow my steps, he explained, nodding his head towards the ground. Okay, I replied uneasily. I tried focusing all of my attention on my feet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Yikes, I stepped on his foot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I stepped on his other foot. I'm so sorry, I exclaimed and looked back up from my shoes. To my surprise, I hadn't seemed to hurt him, at least not his feet. I was, however, gripping his arm like a rock climber. I relaxed my grasp and grimaced. You're fine. Don't worry. He laughed and rolled his shoulder. We can go slower. Just ignore the music. I nodded and looked down again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The slower pace made it a lot easier. After a few minutes, I was able to stop looking at my feet and look at Marcello. His face was a little red, but it might have just been the cold air. Was it cold? I hope you had a good birthday, I said softly, as if not to break the stillness that was between us. I did, he smiled and squeezed my hand a little. Thank you for spending it with me. For once, I wasn't thinking about my to-do list, or people, or looming threats over the planet. I was thinking only of Marcello. I gently leaned my head onto his chest.
He wants a piece of that cake, bro.
Womp womp. Oh no.
Mika, get out! Get
No.
out! I gently leaned on my head onto his chest as we continued to dance on the soft grass. Whoa, I can hear your heart beating, I remarked. I like it. Marcello let out a soft chuckle that resonated through his chest. Movies would never be able to capture this feeling. It felt like we were the only two people on Solace, and that everything else had melted away. I could have remained there forever. My stream cut out. What did Mika say? You don't want to know. Here, it all goes downhill from here. Suddenly, a loud noise, an explosion, boomed from the direction of the ballroom. Marcello and I snapped our heads towards the sound. I could hear screaming. Smoke started to appear over the hedges that surrounded us. I let go of Marcello's hand and we both ran through the garden and up the stone steps. I pushed past the crowd, escaping the building, and stood in the archway. Fires draped the walls, bathing the whole ballroom in an orange glow. Smoke poured out of the broken windows. Blood pooled on the floor. I was immediately overwhelmed. Panic started to set in. It had to be Eclipse. I didn't protect them. People are hurt because of me. I froze at the entrance to the ballroom, unable to act, unable to save them, and blaming myself for all of it. Marcello pushed past me, already carrying someone out of danger. His face and clothes were covered in dust and ashes. I needed to help. I stepped slowly into the burning ballroom, the hem of my dress becoming stained with blood and ash as it dragged along the floor. Through the smoke, I could see a figure, tall, staggering through the rubble. It was Comet. It's my fault they're hurt. They turned towards me, delirious, mumbling, their usual cool and composed demeanor replaced by pure terror. You need to get help, I gasped, blocking their wandering path. Comet's eyes looked through me as they continued to mumble. I need to save them, they mumbled, their clothes stained deep blue with blood. I looked up at their antlers. They were decorated so beautifully for the ball, now one had pieces missing. Comet! I grabbed their face, trying to force their focus onto me. Comet, your antler! Your shoulder! I exclaimed, wondering if they could even hear my words over the chaos of the noise around us. You need a doctor! Their hand reached up slowly to feel their broken antler. Freya! Marcello's familiar voice rang from behind Comet. He was standing at the edge of where the explosive detonated, a charred circle surrounded by debris. Comet remained still as I stepped around them. I approached the massive crater in the center of the room, dust and debris still settling into a haze. I stopped in my tracks. There, lying in the center, were Ladice and Tarushno. Marcello grabbed my arm firmly, snapping me out of my shock for a moment. His eyes were red from the smoke. A makeshift mask made of someone's scarf was wrapped around his nose and mouth. This is my fault. He looked at me with urgency and slid down the rubble towards the bodies. I remained motionless at the lip of the crater. I couldn't move. Marcello pointed his head at Tarushno as he staggered up the ledge with my best friend in his arms. Her clothes were ripped, pale skin torn from shrapnel and debris, revealing broken bones underneath. I could see one of her antlers had broken off as she was carried past me. How could I let this happen? I remained frozen. Ladice's face burned into my mind, guilt building to a peak. I had to do something. Anything. Solace needed me and I was just standing here. I slipped inelegantly down the rubble and approached Tarushno's body. He was as broken as she was. I couldn't bear the thought of either of them being in pain. I picked him up as gently as possible and carried him through the building. The fires were now being put out by a joint effort of John Engler and a few others. Bodies were being marked as deceased by the Keepers of Solace medical team throughout the room. The weight of everything left me scraping my feet along the ballroom floor. I felt disconnected from my visible form, similar to the feeling I had when I saw Belios. I struggled to keep my focus on the present with every step. By the time I walked through the archway, Magos had set up stretchers and transport to the hospital. I laid Tarushno on a bed next to Ladice and backed away from the medics swarming the area. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Marcello sitting on the stairs, coughing and struggling to untie the scarf wrapped around his nose and mouth with one hand. I got it, I said quietly as I untied the knot. His left hand and forearm were wrapped in bandages resting on his leg. I sat down next to him on the steps and gently cradled the bandaged arm in my hands. Are you okay? I glanced up at his dusty face. Yeah, just a mild burn. His sentence was cut short by another fit of coughing. I'll be fine. I watched as the smoke continued to clear out from the broken window in front of us. Sometimes I wished I could cry. Instead, all of my fear and sadness just sat inside me in a tangled mess. I couldn't do anything but sit there and feel it. Casualty report. Magos' voice cut through the commotion behind us. We turned to face him. Magos' form was outlined by the floodlights set up behind him. 6 dead, 12 with severe injuries, 17 with minor injuries. I could feel Marcello tense up as he spoke. Thank you, Magos, I said weakly. He returned to the sea of stretchers behind us. Marcello and I sat in silence for a minute, the impact of the incident finally setting in. Who would do this? What kind of monster? Okul? Eclipse? Marcello clenched the scarf in his uninjured hand, hissing the names through his teeth. We need a suspect list. The judicial branch should... This was my fault. I heaved. Echoes of faction meetings rang through my mind, blaming me for my inaction. I stood and gripped the stone railing of the stairs with both hands, leaning on it as if it was the only thing keeping me upright. They're right. I didn't do enough. There could have been more security. I could have restricted weapons on Solace. This wasn't your fault, Marcello interrupted my spiral. What happened tonight is terrible, but the fault lies with the person who brought in the explosive, not you. I looked back at him, struggling to believe that I really held no blame. He looked exhausted. His face was still coated in a layer of ash, and his previously white suit was now all but ruined. It scared me to see him like that. Marcello, if we hadn't been outside... I couldn't finish my sentence, but Marcello's expression told me he understood. I looked back towards the garden. The stars were now hidden behind a haze of smoke. I know I could have done more to protect them. I heard the sound of Marcello's shoes scraping against the stone as he stood up to join me. He didn't say anything, just placed his hand over mine on the railing. We looked out over the hedges where we danced not long ago. I still couldn't tell if it was cold.
Oh, that last line.
Yeah.
Imagine. Could have been me.
And Cece made this peak art.
Shorts, I love you.
Slow burn so bad it burned off
you.
That's so funny. And first tear-soaked tissue of the night. Who wants to bet on how many I'll have?
Fair.
But I hope this helps you all gain some sympathy for Freya. Also, understanding, because I know a lot of you were confused at, like, why didn't she do anything? It's because she freezes up. She doesn't know how to handle this stuff. She has never experienced fear or danger or anything before Solace.
And this is like her first mass casualty event.
Yeah. Marcella's dealt with this shit his whole life. But
and like the little glitching around Freya.
Bro,
I love the way that Cece represents her. I love the way that Cece represents her disassociation. It's so good.
I think the eyes have a planet inside.
Bob ain't giving no sympathy.
The eyes of Freya have like a little planet
reflection.
No, like inside the iris, there's like a little circle. You see?
I think it's just highlight, from what I can see.
Fair enough. Eh. Also, Marcelo's little pouts is so cute.
He's grumpy. Bob ain't giving no sympathy. I have sympathy for Freya, Truffle does not. That's fair. You know, that's fair. Who reacted with Freya?
Comet has sympathy for Freya, but it's getting hard, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yep.
Freya has been looking for violence ever since Comet, like, ever since she found out that Comet was missing.
Well, about that.
Yeah. I'm sure I saw
today.
the post. I didn't read it. I will read it tomorrow. All right. Warning for nondescript death. I think we could just give a general warning. You all know what happened at the hospital. And I mean, not the hospital, the ball. And the hospital afterwards, I guess. All right. A fading light. Light tried to ignore the feeling of dread as she spoke to Waters. She tried to ignore it when she initially offered to dance with him. She hid her worry and anxiety under a mask of a smile. But when she saw Frog, how nervous she was, she couldn't hide it then. Frog, she said softly, whispering in her friend's ear. Is it today? What have you been sensing? Frog whispered, worry and fear gleaming in her eyes. Light's gaze softened. I don't know, she admitted. I hope not, but there's still a chance. The Frogger looked at Light, a sense of desperation in her eyes. How can you not know for sure? Can't you, like, see the future or something? The dragon shook her head. I cannot see the future. I can only sense that someone or multiple people will die at some point. Frog sighed. She gave Light a tight hug, one the dragon returned in kind. I hope it isn't today, and that it isn't you who would be dying, she said, sounding like she was trying to hold back tears. I hope so too. I truly do, Light replied, giving the Frogger's head a gentle nuzzle. She smiled and pulled away, gently wiping away her friend's tears. In the meantime, try to have fun, all right? She let Frog go and watched her leave. She observed everyone coming in, greeted a few of them in kind. Soon, she had wandered back to Water's side, having to shoo off those who tried to question him about what had happened. She pulled him to dance with her. It was nice, calming even, for the both of them. Soon, Waters had left to get a drink. Light had turned away when the feeling of death's approach overwhelmed her, nearly making her choke. She whirled around just in time to see the explosion. She was close to it, too close. Fire and heat ripped through her body. Pain bloomed, then numbed as her life slowly faded as she was thrown back. Dad, she croaked as her body hit the floor. Her breathing stilled, the light faded from her eyes. In the chaos, no one noticed her body slowly fade away. No one noticed that a small field of alliums or the start of a rapidly growing tree where her body once was. No one noticed the beginning of the rapid growth of a tree, a final gift to the world and its people she so dearly cared about. A tree filled with her own magic, growing until it towered over the ruined ballroom. It sent out a protective spell over the entirety of the Keepers of Solace area, a final gift from a fading light.
Oh my god.
Stay hydrated, everyone. Today's a tearjerker. My thoughts exactly, Comet. Dude, when I was told, like, oh yeah, here's what's gonna happen, also I need you to put this tree in game, I was like, oh! Oh! You were drinking sparkling water. And then from Cece, this beautiful art. The little flower. The flowers. the flowers in her eye.
Oh my god.
Poor Zinnia. I'm trying to help Croy too. I gave out so much sparkling water.
I'm gonna kill someone for in the sake of her senior, bro. I swear to God.
Look at art after reading. Warning for creepy stuff, violence, stray limb, and dead bodies. Alright, Croy's POV. The ball. Looking out at the grand dance floor as a slow dance began to play, Croy leaned against the edge of the table off to the side beside an awkwardly standing Kron, who was fiddling with their suspenders and retucking their shirt into their trousers. The light dimmed as the ghost watched couples and duos laugh and encourage each other onto the floor. Freya and Marcello sneaking out together, Sunny dragging Cam along, causing the poor man to bend over due to the height difference. The slow music was soothing, the notes acting as wind, encouraging the people on the floor to sway as one like a forest of trees. I made a smile, although not visible, arrive softly on Croy's face. He felt relaxed for the first time in a long time. Foreign, but not unwelcome. The invisible heart in his empty chest felt as if it was resting, finally sleeping from the anxiousness and guarded armor that usually clutched it. It was a nice change, especially for a birthday he doesn't set. Croy and Marcello share a birthday?
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Why is it everyone's birthday on the day of the ball? That's insane. Sorry, I'm eating more of my pasta.
Wait, it took me a second. What?
Birthday buddies. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Croy was gently pulled from his thoughtful state by a tug on his jumper. You want me to take another bite? Oh, you want another bite. All right, hold on. Virgil, look away. I'm feeding the strays again. Here comes the plane.
Oh no. I think Virgil.
Virgil is actually in chat.
Hi, Virgil.
Hey, Virgil.
Can we keep them, please?
Please, we won't be too much of a bother. I'll take
I
care
hate
of
You
your
got
eye.
18 stray cats outside.
That's for Bob. We don't have enough money. Bob, you don't get to make that face.
We're like crows, we'll bring Bunny.
You are not my favorite, Bob. Mods, ban Bob immediately.
Here's my rent.
There's your rent. 1 bit. All right, everyone, pay up. 1 bit rent. Let's go.
I got no money, Freya. I give all of my money in commissions.
All right.
Hey.
Continuing on. Croy was gently pulled from his thoughtful state by a tug on his jumper, making his deer ears perk before he glanced over. Kron shifted from side to side, their hands still resting on the ghost's arm, tugging gently once more. Croy let out a small laugh before leaning down to Kron's height so they could speak in his ear. Can I go over to Miss Guide? They pointed towards the left, adjusting their arm to be more polite. The ghost followed where they were pointing, spotting Light and Water standing together and talking, having just finished dancing with each other. Then, standing up straight, he nodded, his hand resting on Kron's shoulder a moment, giving a soft squeeze of reassurance, even though he knew they wouldn't exactly feel it. Sorry. Of course, just stay where I can see you, alright, hun? Kron gave a firm nod before turning around, making their way over to Light, their movements slowing down while they did. They obviously reminded themselves of the manners that Croy had taught them to have before going to the ball. Croy laughed softly at it, as he slowly turned back to face the dance floor, ignoring his unease as a few people passed and greeted him. He had made sure to make himself visible to everyone he could in the event. But he caught himself as he spotted Nikta with a box walking towards the dice, a box in his hands, a look of confusion coming across the ghost's face. and suddenly, a gust of heat and red filled the room. When Croy opened his eyes again, holy, this is 20 pages!
There's
Okay.
20?
There's 20 pages, and this is just one POV! Oh my god, okay.
Oh no.
I think I gave permission for this. I don't know. How many words is this? 3,300!
This is...
Okay. I gotta eat another bite of pasta. I might have to do more of this on Wednesday. When Croy opened his eyes again, he was left standing exactly where he was before, the ballroom in shambles. Croy stared at it all, ears sagging as he could hear the echoes of screams and shouts over the roaring flames that swallowed the walls and overturned furniture whole, decorations burning to nothing but ash. Croy snapped to attention, a sudden surge of instinct flaring in him. He spun sharply and darted to where Kron had gone, shoving chairs and debris out of his way, practically flying through the flames until he found a familiar form curled up against the underside of a table flipped on its side. The white cloth turned black from the smoke. Kron! Kronhund, can you hear me? Croy almost fell as he crouched to Kron's height, his leg dipping through the floor a moment, but he forced his balance. His hands hovered over his child, hearing them mumble before shooting up in a panic, head turning from side to side rapidly, stammering in shock and fear in the drastic change of the event. It made Croy wince, his hands resting on Kron's shoulders, gaining their attention while trying to remain strong and calm himself. Kron, don't look there, okay? Hey, focus on me. Come on. Hi, Cece. He cursed in his mind as they coughed, hunching over, their arms wrapping around their chest to support it with each wheeze of intake and breath between coughs. Croy was about to hug them, support them, and try to carry them out, but suddenly he saw a support breaking beneath the weight of the unstable ceiling, desperation taking the front seat. With a yell, Croy pushed Kron down to the ground, twisting sharply as the support hurtled downwards. The ghost lashed his fingers into the bottom of his gaping mouth, yanking sharply to open it unnaturally wider, a shot of tar springing out, stopping the flaming pillar from crushing Kron below him. The ghost choked at the sudden weight, feeling as if a pole was sliding down his throat, but he pushed through, adjusting his footing. He swung his torso, flinging the pillar off to the side with a strained, choking noise, heavy breaths racking his shoulders. He fixed his jaw and pulled Kron up from their curled-up state on the filthy floor, instinctively dusting off their arms. You still with me there? You're okay, Kron. Breathe. I okay. What? Croy, what happened? I love the way Kron speaks. It's so funny. Croy fell silent, his voice holding no words. No way to avoid this question, no matter how long he would wait. His mind whirred over the situation, the people, the celebration, the flashes of faces and festivities, each one quickening and repeating. Until he was somewhere else. In the village, in front of that burning chapel, surrounded by bodies from homes set aflame, screams from inside the blocked doors. Bad people, good people, a civilization. People died at his puppeted hands, by his cowardice. Not again. He returned to reality, a plan and determination taking over him, spawning the straining ceiling in the corner of his vision. Then he focused on Kron, whose eye upon his mask stared at him in blank expectancy. I need you to do me a favor. The ceiling is going to cave in and there are still people in here, injured, trapped, and lost. Kron followed Croy's hand when he gestured around, looking about even afterwards, getting a little more worked up. But Croy quickly clicked his fingers, drawing their attention back. He needed their understanding. He needed them to listen. Hey, focus, please. I'm going to hold up the ceiling. I need you to run through and find people. Take them and get out of the building. Drag them if you have to. Just get them to safety. Can you do that? He listened to Kron stammer. The poor thing was trying to make sense of it all, while trying to process what Croy was asking them to do. It made a pang tug in Croy's chest, making him want to just hug them tight. But he knew there wasn't time, if he wanted them out safe. If he wanted everyone out safe. Kron, please, I need you to tell me if you can do this. Can you do what I'm asking you to do? I can do it. Are you sure, Kron? Yes, I'm sure. I can do it. Trust me. With a tense sigh, Croy hugged Kron tightly but for a short time before Kron pulled away, turning and running in a random direction, leaving the ghost to watch for a long moment. Then he turned his attention to what he needed to do. He sprinted right through the destruction, his body phasing through it all with cold shivers, making him grimace but push further. He eventually found a loose wall, collapsed and blocked by fallen debris. He went right up to it, his hands feeling over the surface, trying to find a ledge or a give, until he eventually found a small one, testing it once or twice. Then, with a deep breath, he phased into the blockage, crouching and pressing his back against the give from below, legs trembling with the weight. With a firm push, he began to stand, back still flat against the give, lifting it as an opening was revealed, letting him take a deep breath. His legs extended more and more, even when they became straight, they grew longer. Unhinging his jaw once more, he pulled out a thick yet short column, wedging it between the gap to hold it open, before doing the same on the other side. He stumbled out of the gap and back into the building, suddenly much taller, checking back to the exit he had created. That should hold for a while. He heard a long groan, fire flaring up more and more. The ceiling. Croy shot himself back, climbing on top of an overturned table and then hopping over onto a burning pile, head turned upwards toward the ceiling. Then, thrusting his hands up above him, his torso jolted, and a thick cloud of tar fired out, spreading across the entire expanse of the ceiling, forcing it back up and out of its cupping shape. His knees bent as he struggled to hold it aloft, the intensity of the tar he was using almost forcing him backward head first. But he forced himself to hold his ground, ears pinned back in determined frustration, focusing as much as he could for only the gods know how long. The scene around them shifted, and they found themselves in a destroyed lab, red vines and spores everywhere. Below them was the mangled body of their old friend. A manic grin on his face struggled beneath Croy's hands that were wrapped around his neck. Red vines and blood warped his face, making him unsettlingly familiar, yet disgustingly unrecognizable. "Get out of my friend, you diseased monster!" Croy felt himself begin to yell involuntarily, just as he reached into his friend's wide-open, cackling mouth, ripping out a clump of red, fleshy, alien-like substance, only for a tendril of the stuff to shoot right at him, into his eye, making him shout. Suddenly, a crash. He was back in the burning ballroom, tar now protruding from his eye. Despite this, in the corner of his vision, he spotted Kron, Sam, and Lynx just coming through the destruction. "Kron, look to your left!" He felt relief that Kron heard him, watching his heads turn to face him, including Sam and Lynx. Wait, Lynx could see him? Croy grunted, shifting his stance to try to strengthen it, his voice rising further to make sure he was understood over the flames, and through the intensity of what he was holding. "I will hold it open until all are safely out. Go." Croy did his best to watch and make sure they heard him, his jaw ticking in annoyance as he noticed Lynx skulking away. Fucking cowardly bastard. As Kron and Sam sprinted towards the opening that was being held, Croy suddenly felt the weight of the ceiling ease up, making him quickly look to find vines and flowers spreading across and mixing with his tar. He sharply turned his head, trying to find where it was coming from. "Zinnia, what the fuck are you doing?" Not too far behind him, he could just about see Zinnia, looking like she was crawled through the trenches. Her face was scratched up, her dress was tattered and filthy, her hair was a bird's nest, she was missing a shoe, but she still stayed, although her expression showed her reluctance and doubt through her focus. I don't really know, actually." "Then stop and get out of here, are you mad?" Croy grunted softly after yelling that, feeling a plank of wood fall and phase right through him, causing a rather more stinging shock to run up his body rather than the usual biting cold. He could feel the slow glare of confusion and anger from Zinnia burning into him as he turned his attention back to the ceiling, his throat feeling as if it was closing in on itself suddenly. "Leave? You want me to leave you? And you think I'm the mad one here?" "I cannot die or be harmed by this, Zinnia, but you can. You can die, and that is the last fucking thing Kron needs. The last thing I need." Flashes surrounded Croy for a brief moment that felt like forever. The hunting party, where so many got injured, Havoc's dead body in the field, Angel's dead body before that fucking tree, one of his sons, Rowan, shot and trampled by the mob trying to get Croy out, and more, but in a blur. He did nothing then, his words used or unused as useless as each other. He would do something now. He heard Zinnia say something, but he didn't hear her. His eyes hurt from staring upwards. It felt as if his non-existent insides were being pushed and pulled this way and that within his torso. It was a feeling he hadn't missed. But the voice of Kron broke through, filled with panic, and, quick as a bullet, Croy turned, seeing the falling debris heading straight for Zinnia, her powers stopping and pressing the weight back upon Croy. But that wasn't important. He practically threw himself off towards Zinnia, shoving her backwards into Kron to help get them both back, not having the chance to see where they landed before a spike of tar shot out from their mouth, pulling his body to face the roof, bending it back as if he was getting folded open like a book. The only difference was that he didn't have a spine to crack. It was harder to breathe, harder to focus on what was going on. He tried to move, to speak, but he couldn't. It only came out as a pathetic noise. Focus was abruptly forced upon him, however, when he heard Zinnia call out to him, noticing her trying to come near. No, she needed to get out, whether it was on her own accord or by his. I am sorry, was all he could think of. He used his goo. Get out. Cece, get out.
Oh my god, Cece! You're off the staff team.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Was all, yeah, I mean, comments at admin. Sorry. Admin decision right here.
I can do that now.
Comment used their goo. The admin goo.
Oh, Freya. Freya, please. Never say the words, they used their admin goo ever again. Shit. And you're not helping.
Here we go. Is there lore helper goo? I don't know. Shin, is there? Can I use lore goo? I wouldn't know. I only know there's admin. There's server owner goo.
One day.
There's admin goo.
One day I'm gonna snap and kill you all.
Can we make it a roll? The gooers? No! Reminds me of a product called Goo Gone. Nah, I'd run. You're not. Alright, we're.
You and your hungry goo gun have a secret. I feel my brain cells leaving.
Alright. We're only an hour in. We got probably like 3 more to go. I'm so sorry was all he could think. Those 3 words repeating in his mind as a tendril of tar wrapped around Zinnia's waist and carried her through the air in chaos, out through the exit that was gradually shrinking. The tendril disintegrated into nothing once he was sure he placed her outside. His attention flicked over the scheme through a hazy gaze, just about spotting one person. Starry, someone from Kindlegrim. He made a soft noise, forcing himself to move his arm and point at the person, a hint of relief washing over him as Kron understood. And when Kron moved, that's when things changed again. But this time, everything was there. Everything. No, what's going on? Why are you here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Croy was pulled upwards, back forced painfully straight. Fine silhouetted red, familiar and reminding, curled up his body, some sprouting from his chest, some from his right eye. No, not you. What have you done? The flashes started, from the very moment this mess started to the very end. Stop! Do not make me watch this. Do not do this to me. 781 years he's been alive, to the date. 756 years he doomed himself and everyone around him. It was not my fault. I did nothing. Stop making me hurt them. From every single-handled knife, snuck poison, thrown match, pulled rope, slammed hammer, swung axe, tightened strangle, shredded skin, consumed flesh, and more. By the gods, stop it. It is not my fault. It was that thing. It was you. You made me do it. Please. To every lie, every disappearance, every cowardly way to avoid the violence as if he could never imagine the horrors of blood. I did not kill them. I beg of you, turn it off. I am sorry, please. It was not my fault. He left them all for dead, and now he counts each one. 479 adopted children, 97 biological children, 755 romantic partners, 2,456 friends. That's 755! Goddamn, sorry. 1,433 family members. How much child support is crazy? 3,514 jobs.
Sorry.
13 different identities. Oh, 755 out of 13 different identities is crazy. 479 adopted children out of 13 is actually also crazy. Yeah, like 50 different, yeah, I don't know, a lot. 3,901 communities, 22,189 lifetimes. Oh, identities. Lifetimes. Okay. Spanning from a few weeks to a couple of years, all on the same planet. He killed them all. Oh, I thought this was Croy. Oh, okay. I was like, God damn.
I was like, damn, I didn't know Croy was a player. Like,
Okay. All on the same planet. He killed them all. He failed them all. Yes, but I am not failing again. Croy's hands clenched into fists, ripping through the vines with a sharp movement, darting forward and grabbing the neck of the red figure, a mimicked shadow of his own old self, only with a spiked, twisted smile. He slammed its head down against the voided ground, scenes changing, and the final scene with the pickaxe to the eye played just as the ghost came back to reality. Kron was gone, Starry was gone, everyone alive was out safe, but there are bodies. Everyone deserved to be buried properly, not in destruction, not where they bled out, not where they were left alone and abandoned. So Croy shot backward, phasing through fire, piles of structure, not caring for the fact his body was actively losing its shape and features. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bodies. Helena over his shoulder, Grayson on his back, Noogie under his arm, Prototype against his chest. And barely holding onto the ceiling, the grip on the bodies in the exit, he used the last of his will, powered by hope of saving whoever he could. He managed to get through, out of the building, into the air. He collapsed onto his knees, the 4 bodies falling into the grass. He finally let go, the building finally falling in on itself, the flames flaring up behind him. He watched as people moved around in panic in the distance, some approaching to get the bodies. He counted in Irish in quiet whispers. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. 1 less person. Croy's absent stomach dropped. Where was Light? No. Gods, no, please. Croy begged, his body suddenly sinking downwards, making his breath hitch. His hands scrambling against the dirt. No, you stupid body, damn it! The ghost turned his head towards the building from over his shoulder, his fingers slowly deforming further, leaving claw marks in the weak soil that he tried to latch onto. His voice echoed out loudly, calling out for the woman he saw as a daughter, starting off strong but soon broke and grew more desperate. The ceiling had already fallen. It most likely had already crushed her. She was gone. He had killed her. Croy cursed, black tar gushing from where his eye would be, his body sinking further into the ground, grip slipping. He tried to reach out for the people who came close to take the bodies, thinking that they'd help him. His hands phased through them. No one was coming to save him. No, no, please, I'm here, look at me. Croy tried to force focus, to reach someone's mind, clinging to any possibility that someone could hear him. Do not leave me, I'm here! Look at me, damn it, look at me! Waters, Balios, Mira, Krufik, Magos, Sam, Marcello, fuck, even Okul. Not Freya, though. Oh no, they were right, because Freya can't, see him, never mind. Anyone. Croy couldn't even reach Kron. I'm so sorry, please. I was supposed to help this time. I was supposed to protect. The ghost sank further down, eyes finally finding Kron, maskless, staring at the destruction, though it felt as if they were staring straight at him. It was just his face, his eyes, his green eyes staring at him. How could he be so selfish and allow a soul like that to possess a broken body, one he barely bothered to care for when it was his? I failed, again. I'm so sorry, please, I do not want to disappear. I do not want to forget. I do not deserve to stay, I know, but let me. Croy fell below the ground, plummeting down and down into the freezing abyss, caves littered around them. He had tried to be brave. He still failed. Maybe it was never the parasite's fault that everyone he knew died by his hands, their blood, a permanent mark that crawled up his arms, ran down from his mouth. It was Alfie's fault, therefore Croy's. The ghost will never escape that. No matter how many lives you hold, all will soon join our blood and become our own. As I said again and again before, I am you, you are me, we are one, forevermore. Absolute cinema.
Holy fuck! That was fire!
That didn't feel like 20 pages. That was like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Dude, I'm looking at my lord sighing, dude. I thought
my
I nailed
characters
it. In
looked at me
comparison
and
to you,
sighed.
holy shit, like.
Wow.
I feel like Croy would really get along with Comet, and that makes me sad.
We have Kron's POV still. Exactly, that was 20 pages. We got another 11. Why was everything suddenly so warm? What was that noise? Why was everything suddenly a mix of reds, oranges, and yellows? Kron! Kron, hun, can you hear me? Croy? Kron quickly shot up from where they had been laying upon marble floors, looking upon the destruction around them from over the shoulder of the ghost crouched in front of them, hands now upon their shoulders. Walls collapsed, tables overturned and set aflame, limp bodies and cries, screams and running people. Where was the music? The food? People were just dancing and laughing and talking and smiling a moment ago. Why? Kron, don't look there, okay? Hey, focus on me, come on. Kron's head snapped back to Croy. Stop trying to jump scare me! You're not gonna do it. Both of the figures rising from the ground, the ghost's hands still holding onto the other's shoulders, keeping them grounded. Kron coughed, their arm wrapping around their stomach, their other hand instinctively placing itself upon their mask, as if afraid it would come off. Smoke curled up beneath the scruffy disc, leaving a bitter sting to the skin beneath. Kron, move! The distorted voice just about carried over the sudden groaning and snapping, as Kron was abruptly pushed down onto their back, just as they felt the wind of a wooden support falling right towards them. They shrieked, cursing violently in native tongue, arms hugging around their head, but no weight came. No flames bit at their clothes, no debris broke their bones. They jerked their head up so sharply their neck cracked, staring up at the back of Croy's head, watching the ghost's distorted body tremble. Black tar flowed from his mouth, light, muffled choking noises escaping him as the tar twisted around the support and threw it off to the side with a sudden twist of his entire upper body. Slight, heavy breaths escaped the ghost, something flickering within the black depths of their singular, hollow eye. Oh, it was the music. I thought I heard beef. But Kron's attention was changed as Croy gently but hurriedly and firmly pulled them up to their feet. You still with me there? You're okay, Kron. Breathe. I okay. What, Croy, what happened? Kron stared up at Croy, watching as the ghost fell silent, tar dripping from his mouth like drool. They repeated their question, crawling out for Croy, desperate for answers, for guidance. They needed it. They wanted to know. They didn't understand. They felt the ghost's hands move down to their elbows, pulling them closer while speaking loudly over the roaring flames and distant shouts, a determined set to their permanent expression of sorrow. I need you to do me a favor. The ghost's voice was firm, a sense of hurry to his words spoken with heavy emphasis, demanding Kron's attention and understanding, yet also pleading for it. The ceiling is going to cave in and there are still people in here, injured, trapped, and lost. Kron watched as Croy's hand pointed from the ceiling then across the open area before snapping his fingers, making Kron jump. Hey, focus please. I'm going to hold up the ceiling. I need you to run through and find people. Take them and get them out of the building. Drag them if you have to. Just get them to safety. Can you do that? Kron stammered, hands tugging at their trench coat. Dust rips and singes littered all across its dulling wine-colored surface. They turned their head, taking in and marking their surroundings out of instinct. Another piece of falling debris vibrating through the floor upon landing, making them flinch. They didn't understand. They wanted to know what happened. What was going on? What was it, the blind prophet? The Anathi? Echo? Kron, please, I need you to tell me if you can do this. Can you do what I'm asking you to do? Kron noticed the vulnerable lilt in Croy's voice as they nearly begged him to answer. Their mind ran through the entire event over and over again, remembering the people involved, the friends, the good people. I can do it. Are you certain, Kron? Yes, I'm sure. I can do it. Trust me. Croy hesitated for a moment longer, but the destruction continued to roar on and consume, forcing attention. The ghost sighed, pulling Kron into a tight hug, one that Kron couldn't feel at all, but they accepted the short hug before pulling away. And the next thing they knew, they were running through the fire-filled dance floor, jumping over destruction and staying vigilant. They heard the threatening complaining of the ceiling above, close to giving in with the crumbling and disintegrating walls. They coughed heavily once again, eventually spotting an arm under rubble. A person! Kron sprinted forward, shoving rubble out of the way until reaching and grabbing the hold of the wrist and pulling. The person was freed easily. They were strangely light, too much so. He screamed, throwing the severed arm into the furious flames, watching it become consumed and fade from a black shadow to be one with the fire. Their chest heaved with heavy breaths, their hands frantically shaking the feel of the cold, burnt skin of the wrist. That was until they heard the sound of familiar, static-filled voices yelling over the flames. Kron followed it to the best of their ability, using their trench coat to protect themselves from the flames they had to run through, patting out any sprites of fire that clung to the cloth. Finally, shadows of two figures stood out, one of them gripping the collar of the other, their heads. It was Mr. Fisherman and Mr. Clanker. Mr. Fisherman was yelling, the usual hum of static that accompanied his voice spiking every now and then, while Mr. Clanker merely laughed, that unsettling grinning face flickering across the screen of his computer head. The two were nose to nose, or rather screen to screen, as if the place wasn't collapsing around them. Were these two that stupid? Kron sprinted forward, adrenaline flared in their blood, their hands soon latching onto the sleeves of the two's suit jackets, tugging firmly. They yelled in native tongue once more about how stupid the two were behaving, before finally speaking English, their hooved feet stamping against the floor, feeling the two computer heads almost losing their balance. Move! Move, move, move! Croyce said get people out! I get you out! Kron's insistent tugging and shouting seemed to work, the two finally moving in the direction they were being insistently pulled. They kept moving until the sound of a crash made Mr. Fisherman and Kron flinch, before Croy's voice echoed over the destruction once more. Kron, look to your left! Kron took a second and turned, their breath hitching at the sight. Mr. Fisherman seemed to tense, and Mr. Clanker did nothing for once. Croy was standing atop a pile of rubble, back slightly arched as tar twisted and slithered through the air, spreading out across the ceiling, supporting it. It all was exiting from the ghost's chest and eye, their body trembling with the intensity, but they held firm. Further to the left, there was an opening in the wall, small but safe, held open by pillars of more ghostly tar. I will hold it open until all are safely out. Go. Kron understood, turning their head back to encourage the two computer heads to follow once more, only to find Mr. Clanker missing. Kron let out a loud, frustrated curse, but just grabbed hold of Mr. Fisherman's wrist, beginning to run backwards to encourage him to follow. Come on, come on, come on, come on! Eventually, Mr. Fisherman stopped staring at the tar-covered ceiling, which allowed Kron to turn and face the exit, crawling through and toppling onto the ashy grass, the feeling of the coldness of the night air a sharp contrast to the heat on Kron's back. Thank you, Cam. They quickly got up, seeing the large gathering of people, panic and anger swarming them all like a plague. Blood paths painted the ground, cries, shocked faces, and others stumbling out of the flames of the building, rolling around to extinguish the fire that burnt their skin. Kron began to walk forward, pulling Mr. Fisherman with, pointing towards the other people, slowly letting go of the computer man slowly, bracing themselves. They noticed his screen facing them slowly. Kron, what are you... Go heal and rest! Not waiting to be stopped, Kron spun on their heel and dove back through the opening, tumbling forward and ungracefully up onto their feet, a bit of fire burning away the fur on their hoof. Kron stamped it out before darting forward, more destruction posing as obstacles which they clumsily cleared, just as a few others had spotted the way out and went through, brushing past and not even giving a glance to why Kron was running the opposite way to the exit. As Kron was doing a final run around, they caught sight of the out-of-place color of green warping its way along Croy's tar, confused, watching as leaves burned and fell like black snow before regrowing a mere second later. Kron rushed over to where they had seen Croy last, seeing the ghost in the same spot, with a rather battered woman within a few feet of him. Zin! Kron crawled out, catching both the ghost's and Zin's attention. Zin, with a look of surprise, worry, and slight frustration on her face, called back, her eyes darting back up to the flora that seemingly she was controlling, her arms outstretched above her to force constant regrowth. Kron, what are you doing? It's not safe for you here. You need to get out. Out? Out? No! I not leave you after... Zin! Kron shot forward as a piece of the ceiling managed to wiggle its way through the barrier of tar, falling right for where Zin stood, to which the woman looked up in horror, frozen in place, her flora falling to the greedy inferno. That soon wanted her too. But within a blink, Zin was hurled right into Kron, both bodies tumbling across the ground, tangled a moment before hurrying to their feet once more. It had been Croy that shoved her. Another sharp black spike spat out of his mouth continuously, forcing his head to jerk upwards, further forcing his body to arch into a horrifying backbend. A strained noise escaped the ghost, the sound echoing over the rage. And the sudden sound of gushing water? Croy! Zin spoke out, moving forward even as Kron tried to catch her. But she was abruptly met by a flow of tar wrapping around her waist in a gentle yet trembling grip. And before she could fight or protest further to insist on assisting, she was pushed through the held-open, shrinking exit, her wide, panicked eyes disappearing in smoke. Kron stared a moment, guilt gnawing at their stomach, but they needed everyone out. Croy let out another noise which drew Kron's attention, making them quickly glance over. They paid rapt attention to the ghost hand, which trembled, but pointed to the far right, at a figure Kron almost immediately recognized. Grumpy Demon. Grumpy Demon. She was just standing there, staring at the fire. They couldn't see her face. What was wrong with her? She was usually very bluntly smart in situations like these. Kron didn't have time to think. They darted forward, debris collapsing as sudden water pushed its weight down through the flames. But they didn't care. Grumpy Demon wasn't safe. Everyone needed to get out safe. Their hand grabbed her shoulder. The demon? Kron felt pain shoot through them as a fist connected with their face. The sound of a crack somehow the loudest thing to them in that moment. They didn't even hear themselves tumble into debris and across the ground. Didn't hear the gasp from Grumpy Demon. I didn't even hear the sound of the pieces of their mask shattering across the floor, the copper latch clattering and breaking. Their mask. Kron sat up. Shadows shifting and jittering around in their vision. Their breath picked up, their chest hurting with each heavy heave, the leather strap and a small shard of their mask laying in their hands. They looked up, water pushing and itching in their eyes. Their mask. It's broken. Gone. No. No, 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 no. Kron felt themselves be pulled forward, a pair of arms wrapping around their shoulders and head. Their face, feeling bare and unprotected, the familiar pressure that brought them at ease and comfort gone, was pulled against a firm chest which rose and fell in deep, shaky breaths. A familiar voice, one that was usually so firm, so stubborn and strong. It was quiet, shaky, afraid. The Grumpy Demon, she kept repeating the word sorry over and over again. Kron's ears shook while pinned back against the sides of their head, slowly, the sound of their heartbeat thundering in panic before becoming the least of their worries. Their face turned slightly, a hand placed over it, catching sight of Croy. The ghost was bent backwards unnaturally, small noises and whispers escaping him, but it wasn't clear what they were. He was struggling, his hands and arms outstretched in their bent, slightly levitating state, melting and contorting into spikes, vines, hooves, or general masses of distortion. Croy's eye was green, staring hazily through shadows and tar gunk at Kron. Kron pulled away from the hug, hearing the ceiling groan and slowly begin to fall. They turned to face the Grumpy Demon, scratching their eyes, getting rid of the water that had dribbled down their cheeks from the tear ducts. They darted around, scooping up the scattered parts of their mask before grabbing the demon's hand, tugging her forward towards the tiny exit that it was barely held open. They pushed the demon through first. They followed. No, Kron's mask.
Oh no! Oh
Poor Kron.
my god. That was so fun.
Art.
Whoa, that's sick. That's so sick.
Pain and agony. You're so right, Cece. Alright, from Krufik. I can't lose another. I was surprised when I got an invite for some kind of party. I wasn't expecting it, especially after breaking Okul out of the hospital, and effectively out of the Keepers of Solace's hands. Of course, I won't put why it's in this entry. It's not important. What is important is what happened at the party. That I will be sharing. Krufik looked at her reflection in the ice, brushing off the pants on her uniform. She hadn't worn it since the gala on Destock. The way that this is written out is strange. Kriuvoy? I should have just looked at the word itself. That would have been easier than this. And that was a long time ago. She almost forgot she was a colonel general. I did not realize you're still in possession of your uniform, Urilla's voice commented behind Krufik. She turned around and found his eyes. Yeah, I kept everything. Figured it would be important to have. She explained before looking down to see what he was wearing. Urilla was dressed in his martial uniform, though he, technically, is only the army general. It's odd seeing him dressed that way. He wears the same thing all the time because he never has to change. It surprised Krufik. She was more shocked than that he wore shoes. No one even knew. No one knew he even owned them. Urilla going just dogs out everywhere, I guess.
Reroll should have gone dogs out at the ball, honestly.
Please no.
No.
Sorry, chewing another bite. Frog, please!
You know who else is dogging out? Oh my god.
Oh no.
Are you ready? Urilla asked as he attempted to fix Krufik's curly hair, but it only seemed to make it worse. Yeah, I think I'm ready, Krufik responded, then took Urilla's hand out of her hair. Without a warning, Urilla teleported the two in front of Mars' house to wait for her to be done. Krufik rolled her eyes and crossed her arms, careful of the many medals on her chest. You didn't have to teleport us, we could have walked, she pointed out. Eurylo's hands hesitated at his sides before grabbing the other behind his back. I was trying to be helpful, he explained sincerely. My apologies. A pause. You used to like it when I teleported you around. You thought it was a game. Yeah, when I was like 105. Krufik shifted her stance in the snow. I'm not a little kid anymore, father. Eurylo seemed to flinch when Krufik spoke, but collected himself quickly. Thankfully, to break the awkward silence, Mars came out of her house and practically skipped towards the two in her purple sparkly dress. Krufik smiled, dropping her hands to her hips. I like your dress, Mars. Thanks, Morena got it for me, Mars said as she smoothed out the ruffles in the silhouette. She said it was her sister's. I didn't realize her favorite color was purple like mine. Eurylo flinched at that too, but only spoke with, Are you girls ready to go? The area outside the ballroom was breezy, chilly, but the three Frostians weren't bothered. After all, Frostfire gets way colder than that, and even then, the coldest parts of Kruivoy were colder than wandering planets with no stars. Oh, the wandering planets with no stars. I don't, sorry. Planets. There were a few people outside, but they didn't bother talking to them or seeing who it was. The only reason Krufik even agreed to go to this event was simply because Mars, somehow, convinced her to. But Krufik realized that this would probably be a good way to keep up her public appearances. Especially after breaking Okul out of confinement, basically. As soon as they walked in, she felt the stares and glares pointed in their direction, which of course made her clear her throat and turn to speak Eurylo and Mars. She told them to just have fun, I guess, and dismissed them. Now alone, she looked around the area, as if trying to find something to do, or someone to talk to, but it felt like her feet were stuck in quicksand. Eventually, she walked towards the bathroom and looked at herself in the mirror. Her free hand reached up to feel the edges of the scar across half of her face, recalling the experience that gave her that new look. With a shake of her head, she adjusted her scarf to cover her neck more. The rash was getting worse. Maybe she should talk to Magos if he was there. When she finally walked out of the bathroom, she glanced around the room until she spotted Eurylo at the bar, sporting a glass of wine. Of course he was, Krufik thought, as an unconscious smile pulled at her cheeks. Suddenly, a hand was on hers, pulling her forward. Come on, Cookie, you're dancing with me, Mars exclaimed. It was clear to Krufik she had no other option. At first, Krufik was a little awkward, only because she had forgotten the traditional ballroom dance from her planet. But eventually, muscle memory kicked in, and the two were dancing and laughing like nothing had happened. Sometime later, though, the music got slow. Naturally, Krufik's eyes gazed around to find Eurylo. On her planet, slow music means one dances with their parental figures or guardians, someone a person looks up to. He must have realized that as well, since he looked over at her after she found him. Mars whispered something to her, something about the bathroom, to which Krufik just nodded as their hands released each other. But she heard a voice to her side, and as she looked over, it was who she thought it was. Magos. Perfect. She needed to talk to him about her issue. Still, she hesitated. Dancing with her father was important, but she needed this issue to be resolved. So she turned away from Eurylo's gaze, but instead of Magos standing there, it was Fivehead. Her breath evaporated from her lungs as her eyes widened. The last time she saw him, well, she has a scar that tells the story. The rest felt like a blur. She spun around, finding the back of Mars' head as she reached out. Mars! Krufik shouted, but just as she did, boom. Krufik's vision was blurry as she blinked her eyes open. Her hearing was fuzzy, but it cleared up when she heard screams. She was laying on the floor, rubble all around her. Her scarf was nowhere to be found, but that was the least of her concerns. Pushing herself to her feet, she stumbled around the wreckage, calling out Mars' name as she dodged the flickering fires that lit up the space less than the overhead lights did. She used her powers to put out a couple of fires in her way, or in other people's ways, lifted a few bits of debris to try and find anyone underneath it, but all she found was dust and injured or dead bodies, and none were Mars. After who knows how long looking around for Mars, she spotted Magos and Mr. Angler talking across the way from her, across a fire. Krufik tried to find a way over there, but everything was covered in flames. By the time she froze enough to get to where they were, they had already disappeared outside. That's when she realized something. If Mars wasn't anywhere to be found, as well as Eurylo, though he wasn't her main concern, she was probably outside with the other hospital staff helping the injured. With a sprint, she ran outside of the building, lifting more debris and freezing more fires. She didn't even register the cold air. Her eyes found Eurylo like magnets, and she practically ran into his arms. Where's Mars? Is she okay? Where is she? Krufik asked so fast it sounded like it was all in one sentence. Eurylo took hold of her biceps, his grip a little too tight to brush it off as something other than concern. She's all right. She's helping others right now, Urilla told her, then watched as a breath Crew didn't realize she was holding escaped her lips. She muttered something in Russian while she rested her forehead on Urilla's chest. Are you injured? Do you need assistance? Urilla shot the question back at her. His hands moved to hold her cheeks so he could better see her face. She tried to brush him off, but even in the low light of the night sky, he finally noticed her secret. As he reached to touch her neck, the stress gave way, and Krufik fainted in his arms. Oh, Comets is
Pain.
next.
Nothing but pain.
Yeah, all of this is
Oh
pain.
boy.
Violence, death, PTSD, realistic depiction of flashbacks, panic attacks, dissociation. Oh, dissociation.
Violence?
Sorry.
The personal violence thing.
I already read some of this and I remember loving it, so I'm excited. Comment, your writing is always peak.
Thank you.
Let me finish
I've
my
been waiting
pasta.
for this one.
All right. There is someone on the roof. It is not someone you know. You do not know what they are doing. They should not be up there. They have something in their hand. You reach for your axe as you head up to investigate. You pause as you hear him in the other room, humming as his pen dances across the paper. You can hear his steady breathing. You want to join him, but you know you must investigate. You hike up the cobbled stairs, footsteps in a rhythmic beat. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The figure is hunched over on the far end of the roof. There is something that surrounds them, something in piles. The figure whips around to face you. You can barely make out a grin and words fall from their lips before your entire world erupts. You can't see, you can't hear. You are completely cut off from all your senses and at the mercy of the world, and you feel the flames lick your skin and burn your hair, and you can only feel it, and it feels like hellfire. Your back connects with the hard ground and you feel like your soul was ejected from your body. Slowly, you regain your hearing and vision, and you soon wish you didn't. You hear countless screams echoing as debris rains down from the heavens. You're knocked out flat on the ground. You have to get up. You have to help them. You turn, your entire body screaming for you to stay still, for you to sink back down, to surrender yourself. Your hands are shaking. Your head is ringing. Is that your blood? You need to focus. You need to get up. You plant your hands on the ground as you push yourself up, moving each appendage one at a time. You're now tentatively on your feet, feeling yourself sway like the tall spruce back home. You look around and you're surrounded by fire and brimstone. Is this why Rua disappeared a few weeks ago? You need to focus. You search for survivors. You need to rescue them. You couldn't save them. You plant your feet on the ground, willing yourself a connection with the earth. Search the ground, search the rubble, look for bodies. You need to find King. There's someone nearby and they're trapped by the rubble. Is it him? You focus and you funnel all of your strength into removing the rocks on top of them. They're not moving. You need to get them out of here. You lift the body up into your arms as you trudge through what seems like an endless and ongoing battlefield. But you are without weapon and you are carrying a limp body in your arms. Focus. You finally reach the end and you already see a small gathering of people. You rest the body on the ground and you recognize that they are trying to say something, but you can't tell if you care or not, or if you just can't hear, but you turn back around and head back into the fiery building because there are more people that you need to save. There's someone limping towards you, a faint wisp of a woman, hair pulled back. Siofra? You point them in the direction of the group outside. This is your fault. You try to shake your thoughts out of your head and will yourself to resume looking. There is someone else trapped. You rush to the best of your lumbering ability. You need to help them. You see the faint blue flame flicker. You know you failed. It's too late. You lift the rubble anyways, trying your best not to look at the mangled corpse, but the one glimpse has filled your mind like a pattern that goes on and on and on. You say a silent prayer for them. You pray that they didn't suffer. You try not to think about who it was. You feel sick. You know someone will be back for them, and you must continue looking for survivors. You know that you're one of the few people who are capable of lifting such heavy objects, and you need to make yourself useful. As you trudge through the fire and brimstone, you can still hear the screams, but you can't tell if it's them or not. You still haven't found King. He has to be here somewhere. You can't fail. You can't lose him. You can't lose him. You can't lose him. Not again. You pause as you see a hazy figure through the smoke. There's a voice you recognize, and then you see that familiar silver hair like moonlight, and you don't know what to do. Your body doesn't know what to do. Seraphe? Your voice chokes out. There's a hazy aura around them as they plead with you, but it never reaches your head as you begin to push past them. I need to help. I need to find survivors, you mumble to them. You need to do this. This is what you're made for. They stop you by putting their head firmly on your shoulder. You feel yourself beginning to snap back to reality. As a roaring pain sears through your body as you cry out. You need to get help, the angelic voice says, their voice muffled. What they're saying doesn't make sense. You are the help. The others rely on you to keep them safe. You need to focus. I need to save them, your voice mumbles again. Their hands grip your face as they pull you to focus on them. The seraph, they look a little different, but all you can focus on is the hair as you avoid the eyes, and you know it's them. They're saying something. You focus on their mouth. Your antler! Your shoulder! You need a doctor! Your antler? Your right arm goes up to feel. Several of the large branches are gone. This brings you back to reality. Your body feels like it's on fire. You can't see and the pain is blinding. Focus! Don't think about it. Focus! There are others here that are much worse off than you. You can wait. Focus! You begin to feel your ribs jab at your skin, begging to be released. Feel the ground you walk upon. Feel your connection to the earth. Feel your connection to the grave. You need to keep them alive. Feel the darkness crawl up your legs, rooting you to this time and place. Arum or Solace? It doesn't matter. Push those thoughts out of your head. Your only task is to rescue. Do for others what was not done to you. You can feel something deep down inside of you. Someone who is not yourself, scared and crying. You must fight to protect them. Carry the burden so they don't have to. Protect the flock. Move your feet. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Move the rubble. Clear the path. Feel the ground. Feel where everything is. Feel for the bodies. You cannot let this place be their grave. Do what you were made for. Lord, please, I know you do not favor me anymore, but I remain your devoted servant. Please answer my prayers this once. Let me do some good. Let this all be a dream and let me wake up from this hell. You throw yourself into your duty as time blurs, and so does your vision. You feel your hands go raw as you slowly feel your mind slipping. The exhaustion is setting in. Rua, please, I beg of you. Your limbs grow heavier and heavier. You know it's not long until you collapse. The best you can do is find a way off of the battlefield. A nap sounds nice right now. You've done enough. You can hear his voice calling out to you. Yes, I can hear you. You hear your heart sing. I'm coming, my king. I am here. I'm so sorry I failed you. You collapse.
No, wait!
Tab 2.
And there's a second tab.
You feel something metallic wrap around you. It is something that is not supposed to be there. Your dead weight is dragged off of the battlefield.
No, wait. Shit.
Come.
So, you know how you said, is it a trigger warning for violence or violence? The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Oh god.
From Balios. I should have said sorry. Balios stood him in his tower.
Get water.
What?
Get water.
You drink water.
Water. Light is bonking me. Balios stood in his tower, staring at himself in the mirror as he fixed his tie and prepared himself. He was wearing a nice dark blue dress with green and golden designs and nice black heels. He was actually trying to look like a good person rather than a slob. He was still nervous going to the ball. After all, the last event was his first and last for a lifetime. He cleared his mind, shaking off the dread before walking out of his tower into the ballroom. He showed up a little late, but he was alright with that. He didn't want people to know he was here much anyways. He stood outside for a moment, looking in when he saw Light and Waters dancing together. He smiled. He always liked when Light smiled, but he could see the slight hesitation in her, like there was still something on her mind. He still wanted to apologize for last night. He finally forced himself to walk into the ballroom, his eyes trained on Light. But the moment he stepped towards her, an explosion rippled through the building. He watched as Light fell onto the ground and covered in burns. He couldn't move. His body froze as he saw the field of alliums growing where Light once was, her body fading. People were scrambling around. A few people pushed past him outside. He noticed Croy was one of them, but his own feet weren't moving. He heard voices all over, but his voices were mainly on those he most cared about. Croy, his voice was faded and mixed with static, but that could have been his mind. Frog was panicked. Waters was in his sight for him to hear. His mind raced with thoughts about his sister dying. The explosion, the others who have been harmed, the flowers. His hands curled into fists, his nails digging into his palms as blood and mist warped around his hand. Mist poured from his eyes like tears. His eyes glowed purple. He vanished before he could do anything that might do more harm than good. He appeared back at his tower, and he let out a blood-curdling scream as he sank to his knees. His already destroyed room collapsed. The walls around him were destroyed by blood spikes as the roof caved in. He didn't flinch as some light rubble fell on him, but once the rumble stopped, he stared into the sky. Not knowing what to do next, he didn't know what to do. How to fix anything or what to say. His body and mind were numb. "I'm sorry," he muttered to himself. Then heard something growing behind him. He turned as a large tree made from spikes and vines grew from the wood floor of the room. He didn't realize it was him that made it until the red tint of blood seeped through the tree like veins. He froze. He realized his feelings. The numbness he thought he felt was only because this tree was using the emotions to form itself. It wasn't long before Belios curled next to the tree and let exhaustion take him into slumber. You know, Belios is a hypocrite, alright? He wrote a long message to Freya.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Freya.
he wrote a long message to Freya about how she didn't do anything. Oh, how could you panic when people are suffering? And how could you... He left and went and took a nap! Belios saw his sister die, saw everyone panic, and was like, "I'm out." And then went and took a nap. You cannot blame Freya.
Comet's fucking kidnapped. Like 7 people are dead.
Mira's handling funerals. Everybody's doing stuff. Let me go sleep.
He said this shit is too serious, I'm out. He did.
Yeah.
He just left. He even saw Waters. And like...
Thank you.
Let me... Damn, that...
Put him back on the electric chair.
Let me take a nap.
Get him on a guillotine.
Virgil, I do not know what SMDH is. Oh, wait! Oh, shaking my damn head.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I read.
Yeah, I think that everyone had, like, everyone's reaction is valid. There are certain people, like Marcello, like, you know, Waters, like, whatever, who have all been in situations like this before, who obviously their first reaction is to go help people. There are people who have never experienced this or whatever, or just are terrified and, like...
I know.
So I understand, I sympathize with everyone's reaction.
Mira
Don't be a hypocrite, though!
Mira had a whole
However-
PTSD reaction because of Valorant, and she still helped people.
Not
my guy.
Mine sucks! What did you do, Bob? Did you even show up at the ball? No!
You crowed. You cried.
Bob
like a
didn't-
bitch.
Bob
Yeah.
didn't. He was late. He came and it was in ruins.
I was like,
then,
POV, you
If
missed
you
one
were
day
there,
of
Comet
school.
wouldn't have been kidnapped.
I still think Comet would have been kidnapped.
Who said that?
unfortunately.
You still think Comet would have been taken?
Call the fuck. Rhea, I'm so sorry. I'm adding more and you're having new reactions. I'm so
Bob
sorry.
is the
Must
number
have been,
one.
it must have been the wind.
Must have been the... Alright, from Waters. Oh my god.
This is why. This is why.
Every time I see Dad in something, I'm like, ugh. It kills me. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
The cold rush of a tsunami. I'd like to argue that this isn't really a good idea. The words are spoken quietly as Waters sits in a chair in the back corner of the ballroom, a couple hours ahead of the winter ball even starting. He's staring down at his left leg and the metal brace around it, painted blue to blend in with his suit pants, but it's still noticeable, to him at least. Rip the scarabs? Moment of silence for all the scarabs that lost their lives. Their little spiky metal lives.
I don't care about the scarabs. I don't care about the scarabs.
I need someone to make crab rave, but with the scarabs. Scarab rave.
Mira canonically adopted one of the scarabs.
Scarab rave? Whoa. Scarab
I imagine
rave.
Magos chucks them at people? That's crazy. I'm gonna stomp on more of them so we can join our family. Oh my god. All right.
You're so already.
true.
You're so
how
not ready
kind
for
and
the
thoughtful
reaction
of you.
pictures I'm
How
taking.
kind and thoughtful of you, Truffle.
Here we go.
You're a real one.
He's healing slower than usual. The idea of that in itself hasn't properly settled in his mind. Dad? Before him, Light drops into his visual range. She bends down, then sits on her knees in front of him, her hands taking to the brace at the joint and inspecting it. Even though he knows he can do it himself, he entrusts the task to her. As he has for the last couple of days of practically physical therapy, the attempts to regain full motion and feeling in the previously removed limb. I couldn't stop you from coming here yesterday. What makes it suddenly a bad idea now, if you don't mind me asking? Light asks, continuing the thought that she had started. That's different. I had an obligation yesterday. Short notice to find out this was happening, and I needed to make sure there wasn't a trap laid out in the building like last time. I've been too detached from the happenings around here to know if anyone else was going to do it before me. Light falls silent, her hands stilling in her work for long enough for Waters to notice. He places an ungloved hand over top of her own and practically wills her to sense the questioning look he gives her beyond the visual obscurity of his helmet. The very idea of beaming his curiosity to someone would be absurd if he was talking to anyone else. But Light? He watches as she lets out a sigh, then stands only to shortly pace back and forth in front of him. It shouldn't have to be your responsibility. There shouldn't be so much risk to every... Light expresses her grievances quietly, for only him to hear, but she cuts herself off. Then her hands raised to cover over her face as she groans into them. These are the two hardest working people in the Keepers of Solace, by the way, and also the most underappreciated.
Yep.
Waters remains silent. In some aspects, her distress is of his own doing. One, for escaping her medical watch to scout a building while still technically injured. Two, for letting himself fall for one of Elia's tricks again. If he hadn't done that, would she be less stressed about this day? A day that's supposed to be lighthearted and festive? Though, what even is a winter ball for? Why would anyone celebrate the cold? A shiver runs down Waters' spine. The memory of the walk here through the cold weather. Oh, it was so slow and so unpleasant. They half flew here, half walked, but quickly went from flying to walking because it became immediately clear that it would be infinitely colder when there is more wind to hit you. You need a break. Have fun. I don't know. And not a medical absence kind of break. Waters falls silent. Technically, he was going to bring up his irregular weekly hours at the tavern with Cam, but she does have a point. Plus, the mandated work hour breaks probably do not count for actual breaks. Cam was amongst the search party. Light said so, but it was hard to believe. Unexpected. I should mail him. Apologize for the absences these last 2 weeks. Slowly, he passes his gaze from her to the room as he witnesses people start to arrive. Socialize. They're all dressed so nicely, and none of their bags are being checked. And this is a break? Waters muttered out with tired amusement. Light turns to view what Waters does. Then she lets out a laugh. He can't tell if it's surprise, amusement, or the insanity of the situation getting to her a little bit, but she laughs. Then she surprises him by turning to him and holding her hand outstretched to him. It can be, if you let it, Light starts saying, but Waters is a bit in his own thoughts. A father-daughter dance at a ball. Am I capable of that yet? Whatever happens, we can deal with it when it happens. For now, let's just try to enjoy this, right? There's something unsure in her own tone, like she wants to believe this can go well, to trust it. He wishes he could echo that sentiment. Unfortunately, there's a permanent unease to him, knowing that Elia is still out there and public gatherings are a hotspot for things to go wrong, especially on this planet. I'd like to rest for a little bit if that's all right. A rejection, if just because he wants to utilize this position to scope out everyone who enters for that glimmer to indicate they could be Elia. Light looks to the door, then back to him and nods, ultimately understanding the decision. She lets her hand drop. Of course, that's all right, she says with a smile on her face. I'm going to go greet some friends then. Will you be okay on your own over here? Waters smiles back to her, even though she can't see it. He nods quietly, contemplatively, then waves her off as she walks to join the others as they enter. Friendly, fiery, a true light in the room. It can't help but remind him of someone else he once knew. Time just passes like that. People dance, people will talk. Some people come up to him with questions, concerns. He doesn't really answer most of them, only enough to state that he is fine. There does not need to be some sort of panic at the event unwarranted, not on his behalf. It is at some point when the questions start to get too overwhelming that Light returns to him just to wave them all off. He's just just about to thank her for doing so when she suddenly grabs his arms and yanks him up. Why do I keep forgetting that you can do that? Waters remarks with equal parts of amazement and horror. Do I not do that enough for you? Light laughs in response, shaking her head. I'm sure you do. I'm just not sure I'm conscious of 90% of those times. Light stares at him with an unamused look, probably not liking the reminder of his repeated hospital visits. In response, he quickly looks around for something to change the subject to, only to realize that they are slowly moving towards the center of the dance floor. Waters straightens his back and tries to mask his limp. Are we dancing now? He asks quietly, unsure. Yeah, we are dancing now, Light says calmly, a reassuring smile on her lips. I'll lead so you don't strain yourself with any excess weight on that leg. Dancing is not really something that Waters specializes in. It never came up in any of his training, and even in times he had to disguise as some fancy rich person, he had always managed to avoid the dance floor. He's great at heavy combat, not really fit for skills of mobility. He's basically got 2 left feet, and that's especially true with the inability to utilize his actual left foot. It is a minor miracle that he doesn't manage to make a fool of himself, that she chose their form of dance to be a simple hug while they sway back and forth. It's comfortable for him, and slowly the stress he was feeling from being in center view starts to leave. Waters rests his head atop hers and squeezes her in that hug just a little tighter for a single moment. Then he leans back, taking one of her hands in his as he leads her in a spin. That's really how the dance begins. By the time the dance is over, he's left laughing to himself, but it seems contagious because soon enough she's joining him in it. For the first time since the evening began, he has actually found a way to relax and enjoy himself. And, of course, it stemmed from her. All right. Dad's a little danced out. I'm going to go get a drink. You have fun, Waters says in a feigned, weary tone as he lets go of Light. He continues to watch her beaming from the center of the dance floor even as he walks away. Then he turns to the bar when he's close enough to do so. There, he is met with more choices than he had anticipated, and a lot more questions than he had anticipated. How had he not noticed that Magos is the one working the bar? There's also that fisherman that worked the stall at the Faction Festival. Yeah, attended the Eye Blossom Festival.
Sorry, the idea of, like, my idea of Magos is just, like, still wearing his, like, doctor's outfit, lab coat. He's just there for some reason. Sorry.
Yeah. The Scarabs are running the bar. He's just there for fun. Nope. Either option between the two here would be an awkward conversation. It is then, as Waters is about to turn and leave them, that it happens. The very thing he had been monitoring the gathering so closely, trying to prevent before this very point in time. It is slow motion. When he turns, he sees the blast still going off, people getting thrown from the force of it, the fire that starts with an instant spark. Light was too close to it, and he was too far from her. Time starts again, the chaos of the explosive noise, of screams and cries, debris getting thrown about, wood splinters striking at him from continual momentum. Waters feels his arm bleeding, healing, but he doesn't look at it. He doesn't move. He just stares at her, laying on the floor a distance away from him, but he knows. Waters. No breathing, no light, too close. Alderic. That can't be right. No, it is. He's looking at it. He's seen what an explosive does to a person, what levels of it are survivable. That level, she's not. Oh, see, she's not breathing. Get back to work. Alderic snaps to focus. The fire is spreading. There are still civilians within the building. Some people are still standing around dumbfounded or in shock. Everyone needs to evacuate the building, but as far as he's aware, there are no evacuation protocols on Solace. He'll have to improvise. There were preparations made in advance of the event, in the case that Elias showed up again and tried to use his lack of ability to breathe air to her advantage once again. Light found a solution. They never tried it. He lifts a vial out of his pocket and strikes it against his chest. With a sharp lift, the tank of water is lifted off his head and discarded onto the ground furthest from the fire. He pulls water from it to wrap around his arm and shouts out to the open air with a voice finally unobstructed by a janky microphone radio system, if only temporarily. Everyone who cannot stop the fire, get out of the building now. If you cannot move, shout. If you can move, grab someone who can and help them out. Find someone to leave the building with and keep with them. From now on, a buddy system is in effect until we can assess the casualties to determine who is missing. His voice is firm and sharp. In that same pattern, he barks out additional orders. How to handle a medical situation, how to team lift to get someone free from rubble, how to team together to carry someone out of the building, how to stop the fire. When he sees someone struggling, he rushes to their side and helps them out of the building. He tears tablecloths off the tables to rip them into strands to use as gauze in the absence of it. He marks injuries by level of severity and pen on patient's skin for Magos' assessment or treatment. He pulls bodies from the rubble, covers them in the remainders of the tablecloths. He works until the fire is over, until someone grabs his arm and says something to him about his bleeding, but he's lost track of words. Conversation is lost on him. He pulls himself free from their grasp. Then he just starts walking. He keeps walking. He walks until the building is out of sight, until the smoke has left his senses, until the sea takes him. Everyone dealing with the aftermath of, like, the trauma of this is so
sorry.
good. Feather is eating
my
meat.
God.
She can't see her computer. What?
Huh?
Oh man, father-daughter stories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Ugh.
god, I hate it here.
I got my blanket, guys. Hey, you guys got your blanket? I mean, Freya got your blanket. If comment, you got your blanket?
I got a blanket, and I have my iPad, and I'm drawing through the pain.
What are you drawing?
Good job.
It's Comet and Bob. Unfortunately, with the way that the pose works, is that Comet looks a little bit emo, unintentionally.
That's very
Comet
fitting.
is
I mean, they
Very
kind of
emo.
are, but like not.
Comet
It's
is
not
very
it's not
emo.
what I'm. It's not what I'm going for in this scene. I should say.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna go bullet version for it back.
Alright, gore, war flashbacks, and disassociation from Truffle. Again.
Hell yeah, we all. We all getting PTSD with this one, boys. Let's go.
I was hesitant to go to the ball at first, considering what had happened at the last one I went to, but I had, rather foolishly, looked past the paranoia and fear and had gone. It started off just like that ball had, dancing and talking and drinking. Eventually Freya walked up to the podium and gave a small speech. Then music started up and the party really began. People were dancing on the slightly squeaky tiles and chatting. You know, when I went up there, I should have made a joke about, like, alright, now we're bringing out the electric chair. That would have been bad. No, Freya wouldn't have made that joke. I would have made that joke. People were dancing on the slightly squeaky tiles and chatting. The room felt warm and vibrant despite the desolate and chilling environment outside. Some people left to go to the garden attached to the new ballroom. I watched on, hugging the wall. These kinds of parties reminded me a little bit too much of things that had happened before I came here. It was nice to just watch. I found myself reminiscing. It had been just a few months since I came to this planet, but so much had changed. New clothes, new friends, new family. Even with all the challenges I had to face, and despite what I had said about Solace earlier, I wouldn't trade it for most things. I'd just been there, leaning on the wall, smiling to myself, lost in my thoughts when it happened. The explosion came first, and the ringing in my ears came soon after. There was rubble and blood splatters. Suddenly, everything merged around me. The marble floor became mud. The walls closed in on me before they fell into crude cobblestone. The ceiling became a vast, open, yet dreary gray sky. Fire clung to the trees above the ground. Screams. Gunfire. My lungs were drowning in some kind of mix of dust and ash. I was paralyzed with the fear I wasn't allowed to have at that moment. Then, in the next blink, I was back in the ballroom. My body moved, but I didn't move with it. I was stuck watching it as it started running to help anyone injured. It tore off parts of my clothes to tie around people's wounds, a desperate attempt to stop bleeding. Everything was starting to fall apart. Screams were getting louder. The screams stuttered and faded. I tried locating someone with a particularly blood-curdling cry for help that sounded like the old broken radios as they had failed, and yet I never found them. I just ran around more. More people who got hurt. More people I had to help. And then I saw her. Freya just stood there, at the entrance, just out of harm's way. Yet again, she just stands there refusing to do anything. I should have never come here. How many more times would a tragedy like this happen? And then a deafening crack struck through the air. I stared up as the ceiling came crashing down on me, and I froze. Then I was back home. Everything had happened too quickly. Chaos was holding me by the shoulders, letting out a sigh of relief. Everything was spinning. For a few moments I contemplated if this was all a dream. My torn clothes proved otherwise. I stumbled my way to bed, and the man who had just saved me let me. He started boiling water for tea as I just stared up, like I had moments ago. I closed my eyes and let the peacefulness of not having to think about what happened wash over me. Wow, another person napping right up instead of staying there to help, Wow, I can't believe it. Truffle. I'm kidding.
How dare you not suffer?
Even then, somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew the sun would soon rise again. I wish it never would. Cycles. Circles and loops are all that I can see. The sun sets so the moon rises, and when the moon sets, the sun is up again. Rain falls into rivers before evaporating back into clouds and falling yet again. Someone gets hurt one way or another, so they have to put someone below them in order to get back up, and then someone pushes them down. I want to get back up. I want to get back up, not for my own sake, but for those who have also been pushed. Maybe I should take matters into my own hands. Maybe. I don't know what the freak I had Frog actually do. I don't remember. Frog was chillin'. Alright, from Noelle/Artemis.
How dare you not suffer? Sorry.
Truffle nearly died? That's what they all say. She has so much PTSD. Fire. She-Forgor. Frogor. Night of the ball. Artemis was keeping Nixon busy.
That's so real, honestly.
Artemis sits in front of Nixon. Hey, can we talk? She fidgets with her overcoat. Nixon calmly says, sure, what do you want to talk about? She tilts her head in thought for a moment before saying, I want to know about Solace, please. Nixon thinks for a second, then states, yes, you haven't left the tree, so one day I'll show you around. But I guess I'll just list some places for now. There's a riverside, a town made by my friend, Anima, the community center, and Frostfire for the places I've been to. Artemis nods happily. Does Solace host any events? She tilts her head. Nixon frowns slightly and states, yes, there are events, but few actually have good things happen. Oh, and there's a ball today, but in all honesty, I'd rather be here with you. Her face flushes slightly. Why? You barely know me. Oh, and what do you mean by few have good things happen? She asks curiously. Nixon sighs and states, Artemis, you don't want to know what happened. Just remember to stay with me at any events, okay? She nods. Okay. She snatches his spear and bolts. Nixon trips Artemis with a vine soon after she runs, and he grabs back his spear and says, nope, I'm not gonna let you get that far with that. Artemis face plants and her face smacks against a root. Thwack. Ow. She sits up, blood streaming down her face. My nose. And Nixon pats her head and says, let's go get you some bandages. Then under his breath, he mutters, silly. Artemis flicks Nixon with a vine, clearly upset about getting her clothes covered in blood. Deserved. Nixon smiles and promises, I will do it again, raising some roots to her sides to pat her head. She huffs. No need. She wipes her face on her sleeve and sniffles. Nixon hugs her from behind and says in a pout, fine, I'm sorry, but don't take my spear. Then he looks away and slightly as he says, and don't cry. But my overcoat is blood-stained. It took 6 hours to make. She sniffles again. Nixon hands her his cloak and affirms, have that for now. I guess I'll take you clothes shopping to make up for it. At least there's someone who didn't go to the ball. If Chaos hadn't teleported Truffle out, they would have genuinely died. Yeah, I figure that, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like, obviously, get out and whatever. But it's funny that people are going to sleep right after the ball. Alright. Content warning for flashbacks, PTSD, minor mental blood, borderline sibling abuse. Oh, I know what that is. The ball from Starry's POV. Starry was leaning against the wall of the ballroom. People were dancing and mingling. Others were sitting and talking and drinking. Ugh. She really doesn't want to be here. Why did she agree to show up? She sighs and glances out a window, seeing Snow outside enjoying the plants outside. Her eyes soften as they enjoy the plants, a small smile under her mask as her tail softly wags. At least Yuki decided to show up, now that others can't call her a shadow or an imaginary friend or whatever. Starry's eyes stay soft as she watches Yuki leave, waving by and going home. Starry waving by back. Guess their social battery is empty. Then her eyes go back to the cold and cruel, the smile gone. Looking down at the other people dancing and partying, she dances at Ghosty, Croy, and Kron. Her ears twitch, unable to hear them from where she is, but it's fine. They seem happy. Maybe she should relax. She glances at the others. Ward, Comet, is happy. Their antlers look pretty. Maybe she should have done the same. She touches a hand to her horns, a single horn cap on it, colored black to match her outfit. The same outfit as the electric chair event. She shakes her head and looks back up, watching Ladice and Turu? She really never got their name. But it's fine, they seem happy. She looks around, watching Freya and Marcello chatting, Mira, Fisher, John Engler, all these other bitches. She gets up from the wall and goes to take a step towards the drinks, but stops. Maybe she shouldn't. She watches around as her ears twitch, her tail softly swaying side to side. Something feels wrong, but that's just her being paranoid. That's all she is, just paranoid. She makes her way to the bar, and the barkeeps are Magos' scarabs. Okay. She quickly swipes a soda and walks back to her corner. The ballroom continues as Starry stands in the corner, lowering her mask to sip her drink, then pulling it back up. People partying and having fun, dancing or whatever. She sees Cameron and blinks, eyeing him up and down. The fuck is Purple Guy doing here? She mumbles against her drink, her tail forming a question mark. She then glances away as her tail goes neutral again, seeing Freya and Marcello leave. Okay, whatever. She watches all the people, but maybe she should have paid more attention, almost in a quick motion. There was an explosion, people getting hurt and fire. She drops her soda can and as she sees Comet getting hurt. She goes to run towards them, but stops, freezing in place. The fires. "Let go of me!" a younger Starry screamed, pulling against one of her older siblings. "No, you're 13 now. You're of age to be like me and..." Oh, I can't see that. Her older brother drags her by her arm to an old shack, a clearing in the woods. Far away from home, far away from safety. Starry's legs go against the ground as she attempts to drag her feet, to try and pull away. Her older sister had the shack door open already, and in her hands was a lighter, the inside of the shack being full of firewood and smaller flammable items. A burn scar over her left eye. Her brother having a matching burn scar, but on his lower right face. "Stop being a baby." Her brother suddenly moves, holding both arms behind her back, to stop her from struggling, forcing her closer to the shack. It was always a losing fight against them, her sister being 18 and her brother being 20, and her, the weak, tiny, almost runty 13-year-old. "Guava! Guava, help!" she screams for him, but her sister just laughs in her face. He's not coming. She grabs a cloth from her pocket and lights it on fire with the lighter, tossing the now lit on fire cloth into the building. Almost immediately it catches flames. Starry struggles against her brother, trying to get away. Where are her parents? Where's Mom? Where's Dad? They must be looking for where she went, right? Or maybe they don't care. They never really did they? Where's Guava? He'll find her, right? He always makes sure she's okay. Where is he? Then she hears it. Footsteps. Her ears twitch as she looks in the direction, as tears fall down her face in pure fear. Guava? Starry stands staring at the fire, shaking and her breathing heavy. Then someone grabs her shoulder. Blank? In a quick motion, she turns around, her fist colliding with her face. Starry stares at the figure holding their mask. Their mask? Or their face. Their mask? On the ground in pieces. Her fist bleeding. Who? This isn't... Kron? Her voice is soft and shaky, looking down at them with wide eyes. They look up at her, tears falling down their face. I'm sorry. Starry stares at them and slowly reaches out. I'm sorry. She grabs them and holds them into a hug, hiding their face in her chest, still out of it. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you. Rests on her tongue, her voice gone. She holds Kron, then hears screaming and yelling. She looks away. She has to help Comet, has to help the others. We have to get out of here, she yells. She hears someone yell. For once, Starry freezes. Nothing cocky comes out, nothing confident. She stares before looking down at Kron's broken mask, the mask she broke. She watches them pick up parts of their mask, quickly helping them pick up whatever was left. She has to. Kron grabs her hand quickly, getting them both to the exit. She's shoved outside and Kron follows. Starry looks down at the bits of broken mask she picked up in her hands, the fresh air helping her, grounding her again. She then looks at Kron. I'll fix your mask, she softly says. She should apologize, but that seems too much for her right now. She's not really one to apologize, is she? She looks over at some others who are helping the injured. She should help, right? She hesitates and makes her way over and asks to help, which someone agrees. She pockets the broken mask and she gets to work with bandages, helping the best she can. As she helps, she glances away, around, seeing all the others, but where's Comet? Where's Ward? She slowly lowers the bandages in her hands as her breathing starts to quicken. Where's Ward? Where are they? She looks back at the building as the last few people escape. It's collapsed. Comet! She runs to the collapsed, still burning building, someone having to hold her back. Ward is still inside! Comet is still inside! She screams as she looks at the person, tears falling down her face out of pure fear. For once, showing emotions to the public instead of being the cold and angry person everyone thought she was. Ward is still inside. See, I wish the people would, like, which this is good. But people do not tell Freya what's going on. I wish people would be like, hey, Comet's still inside. Freya can go in there. Although she was also kind of frozen up, so maybe people assumed she wasn't going to help. But if she heard Comet was in there, she would have been like...
Well, to be fair, I think Holy Starry really noticed
Yeah.
that Comet was still inside.
Yeah. Freya wouldn't do shit. Yeah, she would.
So...
Say if someone came up to her and was like, hey, Comet is still inside.
You'll see the
Oh
crash
yeah,
out.
I'll see. All right, A Night to Remember from John Angler. I arrived at the ball with my friend Muncha. I saw many faces that I grew accustomed to in attendance. After some time, I found myself at the bar, while most were dancing. I didn't have anyone to dance with, so I decided to have a drink instead. I sat down and was met by scarabs and feathers for the first time, since they were attending the bar. I took to my left and see Magos next to me. I haven't spoken to him since I gave him the poison samples I found in the cave where Waters was attacked. I started the conversation with a greeting and inquired if he too didn't have a dancing partner. He replied with a nod. We started chatting about how we've been since our last interaction. He always seems busy working at the hospital, poor lad. I offered to take him on a fishing trip if his schedule ever cleared up to cheer him up. In an instant, my entire body is thrown towards the floor from a flash of heat. I can only hear ringing in my ears as I move my hand to push myself up from the floor. I feel a sharp pain. Glass. I look up and see Magos leaning against a wall, confused as I am at what had just happened. I got past the pain in my hand and stood up. Pain began to develop in my left shoulder, and that's when I noticed a sharp piece of wood had lodged itself into my shoulder. I looked over to see the bar was destroyed, and then the smell hit me. Smoke.
Mikor.
What? Oh. My head jolted over
Mikor.
wherever the dance floor was.
Sorry.
Fire, blood, bodies. Some barely clinging on to life. As my hearing returned, I could hear the screams and saw the eyes of those still alive, frozen in fear, unable to move. I knew what I needed to do. I stumbled over to Magos and helped him to his feet and tell him to follow me. We both rush over. I tell him to start pulling anyone still alive outside. The injured needed an immediate care. I clasped my hands together and let water flow to form a sphere. It sparkled with dots of green and white. I motioned my hands and flung the sphere above Magos' shoulder, and it hovered there, ready to follow him. I briefly told him as we moved to cover his hands in the sphere and to apply it to the injured. It would stabilize them enough until they got intensive care at the hospital. We got to the dance floor. I could see the people still frozen in shock, the fire getting worse. I saw Mira. I yelled across the room to her, asking for her assistance with putting out the fire. I turned my attention to the other survivors of the attack. I need all hands on deck. Those who can, grab the injured and get them out of here. Everyone that could move started to. The injured were getting moved. Mira had moved across the room to join me. I remembered she wasn't able to create water, only manipulate it. I repeated the same motions with my hands as before, and another sphere of water came forth, and instructed Mira to pull from it, not move it. She understood and started to draw, and we both began our attack against the raging flames. I could see out of my peripheral vision that we were getting people out of here. Footsteps, words, and the sound of something that sounded like a machine flying were all I could hear besides the raging fire. But progress was being made. The fire was fierce, and after some time I look over and see Mira trying her hardest to keep up the fight, but I can tell that magic is taking a toll on her, and soon she collapses. The heat rises and the flames take background. I see that Marcelo got to Mira and brought her outside. I turn my focus back to the flames. I will not kneel until the flames are vanquished. I will leave no one behind, and I will stand strong. With fire finally defeated and with no person or body that I could find, I walk out to catch some fresh air. I observed the crowd that had formed outside. Fear, sadness, and anger. I could see it all. I turned around to look at the building that was once a place for people to come and celebrate, now a husk of what it once was. I heard a creaking noise and saw dust and debris fly out of any opening of the building. The ceiling must have collapsed. I looked around and found Muncha. He looked unfazed by what had transpired, probably thinking this was part of the ball. I'll have to explain to him that this was an attack and not a fireworks show. As I walked over to my Muncha, my eyes wandered around and found Mira. She's fine and being treated. When she comes to, I'll have to tell her I'm proud of how courageous she was tonight. I heard someone crying. It was expected as a few people had been killed in the explosion, but this person sounded different. A voice, one I had not heard before. I looked in the direction it came from and saw someone I've never seen on Solace. They had brown hair, transparent skin, a green vest, where their eyes and mouths should be, was replaced with pitch-black darkness. They began to sink into the ground, yelling and reaching out for what I believe a few people who could see them too. It was a ghost. I reached under my glasses for my right eye and looked at my hand to see the face paint was starting to disappear. Must be from the heat of the fire and my sweat. I need to get back to the office before my scar shows. I cannot let anyone see it. I've become comfortable in Solace and can't bear the thought of my peers calling me a monster. That's when Muncha was looking at me. He pointed at my chest and I read his lips. Do we start decorating our outfits with rocks now? I looked down and... oh shit. A chunk of stone now finds itself where my heart was, and everything hit me. My vision was blurring, ears ringing, knees weak, arms heavy. Sorry. And nausea was overwhelming me. I fell onto Muncha's shoulder. I've used too much mana. I can't heal myself in time. I need to get to that place. I looked at Muncha, pointed to me, and then to the nearest river I could spot. That place is my only chance of recovering. Seconds felt like decades, and Muncha helped me and stumbled my way over the river. When we got to the bank of the river, I took a long, wheezy, and painful breath before I was able to say only 4 words to Muncha. Feed Charles, office drawer. I leaned myself backwards and let gravity pull me into the river. The fish that nested in my chest pocket and swam away. With what strength I had left, I drew the same runes with my finger as I've done a million times where the current was taking me. The portal had opened, and the river carried my body through. John Angler.
Dude, that's so fire!
Was John Angler like the only
John
person
Angler so
to...
much.
Was John Angler like the only person to hear Croy and see him?
Well, one of the few people.
One of the few people. Interesting.
I think it was mentioned in Corey Stalker's document. I think I really need... Dude, I'm... like, hearing the lore, and I'm like, damn... If Comet only just talked to people, they would realize that they're not alone and there's other people like them.
Yeah.
It's just that they're so, like, untrusting.
Yep. Magos lore! I am not too good at parties. Solvex, hurry up. I do not want to be late. This festival is a once-in-a-century tradition. I can still hear her voice sometimes. Maybe I should stop drinking my own concoctions while I remain at this formal party. My scarabs have been working hard getting all of the ingredients and necessary components to start this ball. As always, I'm watching from the sidelines, always waiting for a good opportunity. These could be good memories to collect, but I'm not very good with these types of situations. All the machinery sings to me here, watches with their rhythmic beats, lights with their beautiful melodies, and thunder? What could be making the sound of thunder? There are a lot of people talking. A snap breaks me from my concentration. The fisherman. He offers me a trip to go on with him. A fishing trip. That would be a good way to collect some more of the species here, so I accepted. Lightning struck. Pieces of wood rained down upon me. A bomb was singing that of a storm. My suit was yanked. It was Angler helping me out of the building. He used water magic to put this healing liquid onto my hands. Noted and sample taken. My body is running on autopilot. Person here, dead person there. Notify Freya. Keep working, keep working. My scarabs were helping the others. Just keep working. I need to finish the Primars project soon. Bring the injured to the hospital. Magos, my goat.
Magos.
Ooh, Okul. Fortunate exclusion. A winter ball. One I wasn't invited to, of course, but thanks to my newfound freedom, I'll still be able to observe. The guests arrive and music plays. People are cheerful. I move around the area, stealthy as I can be with my size and condition, and then I see something unusual, at least for Solace. A tall figure stands outside the ballroom. Curious. Another exits the ballroom and approaches them. They speak and... the reptile. Something is exchanged, but I can't tell what, and I'm certainly not going to get involved and figure it out. Not like this. Not with her. It seems like only moments later the ballroom is ablaze. The thing exchanged, some kind of explosive most likely. People screaming, rushing past each other, a foolish few running back in to save friends or family or strangers they want the chance to get sentimental over. And of course, to no one's surprise, the false idol is not among those helping. It was then I made my leave. I'd rather not be seen with all this chaos ensuing. I don't need to be blamed for more deaths. We know it was Eclipse. You don't need a content warning for swearing unless it's like every other word. Don't worry, Bob. But thank you, nonetheless.
I go! I love the lore.
You feel bad? Don't feel bad, it's fine. Alright.
Also, Bob, you literally had me proofread your lore and say, "Oh, do I need a context?" I'm pretty sure I said no.
It's all good. We can say fuck here. It's okay. Bob's late. As I finish reading through my files on the planet Divergentia, I sigh and sit back in my chair. Another planet that has no information that I need. I'm not giving up. There are still plenty of planets left to go. I have barely made a dent, but it's definitely disheartening to have planet after planet with no luck. Why can't I read? Maybe it's time to take a break. I know the ball is coming up. Comet reminded me 100 times today, so I should probably get ready. I head downstairs and look at the clock. Shit! It's way past the start of the ball. Comet is gonna kill me. I quickly grab my blazer and head out. I promised Comet I would be there, and now I'm late. Hopefully it hasn't ended. I'm running in the directions that Comet gave me. I see lights up on the hill and realize I am in the right place. I keep running, but as I get closer, my heart sinks. The lights aren't from a party, but from a fire. I start running faster and faster. I make it to the entrance of the ballroom and see a crater where the dance floor should be. I look around, but everyone is gone. They must be at the hospital. Hopefully Comet can explain what happened. I ran to the hospital, nearly out of breath. I make it in the doors. I look around to see nurses and doctors running around like crazy people. I see the uninjured sitting in the waiting room with gloom written all over their faces. I don't see Comet, which is surprising. They don't easily get injured. I ran up to the nearest nurse and asked them if anyone by the name of Comet had been admitted. They quickly flipped through their clipboard before looking back at me, shaking their head, and running off in the direction they were originally headed. If anyone would know where they are, it would be Freya. Comet trusts Freya, so I'm sure she knows where they are. I walk over to Freya, who is sitting beside Marcello. They both look up. Marcello gives me this look of surprise, not expecting to see me, which quickly changes to annoyance, likely because of my past with Arcturus and using them to create my ship. Freya, on the other hand, gives me this look of pure sadness. She is in utter despair. I sink down to her eye level and ask her what happened. She stutters through an explanation of a bomb going off in the middle of the ball. That was my guess, based on the state of the ballroom, but I wanted to be sure. I then ask her where Comet is. Her face turns to guilt as she looks down and quietly says she doesn't know, and that they disappeared. I stand up while saying quite loudly, "What?" She stutters through apologies. I get even more upset, screaming now that I don't care if she's sorry. I want to know where my friend is. I continue yelling, saying what is wrong with her, and how does she not know where Comet is? I shout about how I trusted her, how Comet trusted her. I scream about how Comet was probably saving lives and about how the all-powerful Freya could do the simple task of knowing where her friend is. While I'm saying all of this, Freya is cowering more and more into her seat. I continue screaming when I start saying that she's a useless piece of Before I finish the sentence, Marcello stands up and pushes me back, with a booming voice, saying that's enough. I glare at both of them before marching out of the hospital. I already had my doubts about Freya, but these just confirmed them. I will find Comet on my own. Hi, Truffle. Welcome back. Go back to sleep.
Thank you, Bob. Shout out Bob and Starry for being literally the only people that...
Yeah.
How do you lose track of a pretty much 7-foot-tall hulking being with glowing antlers?
To be fair, there's a lot of people at the ball. Yeah, in Freya's defense, Ladice and Tarusno, she thought they died. She was kind of freaking out about that.
No, that's completely fair. That is completely fair.
And she does feel really
Comet
guilty about
is
it
very
afterwards. Like, she's not doing a head count of like, hey, let's make sure that every person that I know was at the ball here.
Truffle, I was like probably underestimating. It's not.
I thought Comet was like almost 8 feet.
That's not including their antlers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 8 feet. No, it's not like. The thing is that their height fluctuates. I said, probably around 7 feet, 8 feet to Mika, and Mika put Comet down as what 6'8", which is not at all what Comet's height is. But Comet doesn't have a set height, to be fair.
6'8"?
It kind of fluctuates.
Oh.
Yeah.
My bad.
Which...
I didn't look at that before it was posted. That's so funny.
Comet's looking at their wanted poster, being like, "Damn, people, damn." And I didn't give a weight. Mika just estimated it.
Height when you slouch versus standing up straight.
Yeah, Comet, I think 6'8" would probably be... Yeah, so... Okay, so, Bob, the last time Comet had to be, like, carried unconscious to the hospital, it was with Cam, and Cam has special equipment. Cam has special
Bob is
equipment.
jacked.
I guess Bob is just jacked.
This whale makes me so happy. It's like perfect to hug. It's amazing.
That's what being a librarian does to you. Like, you get jacked from carrying books. I speak from experience. I'm much more stronger since I've started working at a bookstore.
I used to carry 50 pounds of Legos every day for work.
Light work, honestly.
It is.
I'm joking. That is a lot.
Tall man and light lore. Okay, is this ball related?
I think that might be the end of the ball.
Okay.
'Cause that,
let me
thing
go
at the
through
ball-
until. Yeah, because there's still some. There's the winter ball. Let's go until December 11. I'll just read anything up to December 11 because there's still some stuff to go. I think we're good. All right. This is from Feather. Tall. Oh no. Yes? I can never tell who's who. I think that's Feather. Tall man and light lore. Come on, Discord. Don't let me down. Just kidding. It's gonna let me down. Let me download the video.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Is this just okay? Well, we'll watch that once it downloads. Meanwhile, more Magos lore. Shape loss. Files loading. Disease name shape loss. Definition: when a shapeshifter loses who they truly are. Through my travels throughout the galaxy, I have encountered many beings throughout the galaxy. The most elusive are beings who can alter their physical appearance at will, but there may come a cost. Shape loss can happen to any shapeshifter, but the more powerful one is, the more likely it can happen. One example is when a shapeshifter replaced a child without realizing it played its part too well and forgot what it truly was. Shape loss can happen through trauma, too. Time in an altered form and in many other forms. It is possible to restore them back to their former state, but it may be difficult. Interesting. Does that have to do with the thing in the basement? I wonder. All right. I'm gonna get copyright claimed for this. Okay, why is it not? Come on, there we go. Ooh, the effects. Okay. Tall man lore. I still don't know what the tall man kind of freaks me out, I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
This is so sad, but also fuck you. The violence thing.
Womp womp.
Not womp
Sorry.
womp to light.
Not womp womp,
to
specifically
violence
light,
feeling
specifically.
bad.
Womp to violence. Oh, you have no idea.
Alright guys, I'm moving the bonk. I am moving the bonk onto violence. You can pay to bonk violence
hell
right
yeah.
now.
Hell.
Bonk him! I didn't
have
say womp womp
32,000.
instead. I said womp womp to violence. Because,
We were bunking balance.
yeah,
We're
we're bonking
bonking-
violence.
Let's go. Hold on, give me a second.
Get him! Pop, please.
Okay,
Alright, 10
Bob,
more seconds.
Violence deserves it. Like,
Alright, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on.
no, violence is friend. Light.
Violence is
Violence
not.
boiled comet. Sorry, spoilers.
Comet soup.
You know, we talked about like grilled eel with Eclipse, boiled warden.
Yeah, what's the flavor? What's the flavor profile
I don't want to know.
of comet? Sorry.
Probably nasty.
I
Also,
feel
this
like
is,
comet will taste like
Wait.
tea for some reason.
Spores.
BW. 07 to BW.
07.
Gone and forgotten.
Who was you?
God! Whoa!
Joking. There's mushroom undertones.
That is true. Comet does have mushroom undertones.
I feel like Comet would taste minty.
Comet would taste like tea.
Longest lore doc I've ever written. From Cam. Here we go. The Tricentennial Man, Part 3. Earth, Orion Interior. 6/25/2151. 2 minutes left until launch. Clyde, can you fetch me thruster status reports? Cameron was gathering as much information as possible. This launch had to go smoothly. Clyde is quick to response. Retrieved, Captain. Would it be good to fetch... I feel like Clyde is British. Retrieved, Captain. Would it be good... I'm not doing the British accent, though. Would it be good to fetch all other individual system reports? Absolutely. You're an angel, Clyde. You flatter me, Captain K. Sending reports your way now. 1 minute left until launch. Okay, Clyde, we've been cleared. Time to wind up. From the interior, the sound of the giant metal hook being attached to the hull can be heard. The hum of the electromagnetic rails is ever present, a powerful sound. It adds to the tension. I can assume you're nervous, Captain. Your heart rate is elevated. Who can blame me? We're about to go really fucking fast. 10 seconds. Whew! Breathe, man. Breathe. Clyde, are you feeling the nerves yet? 5 seconds. I am incapable of such a sensation, Captain. 2, 1. The magnetic launch system unlocked, and it catapulted the vessel at incredible speeds towards the atmosphere. Eventually, the thrusters took over, and the Orion finished forging its path towards escape. The Earth grows ever smaller as they approach the jump point. Okay, Clyde, let's get our destination lock. Stand by. Destination locked. Brilliant. I'll kick on some tunes. Audience, imagine some, like, sick jungle D&B breakbeat music playing. Oh, hold on.
I'm just gonna
Sick jungle.
I'm just gonna assume that
D&B
it's gonna be
breakbeat
I just imagine
music.
it's gonna be a it's gonna be ultra tone music.
Safe. Okay, are any of these stream safe? That's stream safe. Is this the music? I don't know what jungle D&B breakbeat sounds like, so I'm assuming it's this. Okay. Initializing jump, Captain. We should be fully charged in approximately 30 seconds. Bye, Trouble. Understood. I'll run the remaining prep. He clicks some buttons and pivots the radio to the radio console. Orion to ground control. We're about to jump. Make sure to save me some scotch when I get back. Jump is ready, Captain. On your command. Hit it! Cameron pushed the lever forward with hearty excitement as it clicked into place at the end of its track. The entire universe began to warp around the vessel. The sight was indescribable. Only one living soul had ever experienced this speed, and he just so happened to be sitting in the cockpit. In roughly 16 minutes, they reached a safe orbit around the supergiant star. The lever was clicked back slowly, taking them from their blinding speed. The cockpit's safety glass became tinted in response to the intense brightness, tinted enough for the human eye to gaze at the star's majesty. Holy shit, Clyde, the view, it's sick! So bright! Ah yes, stars do tend to become very bright this time of year. Was that sarcasm? From you? I saw an opportunity, Captain, so I took it. Cam made a mental note. That was some odd behavior for an AI, even as one as advanced as Clyde. Anyways, time to fetch some readings. He turned to the panel at his left side and began a sequence of inputs. Various pieces of equipment started recording the star's activity, every facet being neatly organized by Clyde in its own detailed report for the researchers at home. Captain, I have noticed something odd. Eh? When I compare the luminosity readings, the star seems to have gotten more dim. Variance in brightness is, of course, normal, but this is a more drastic margin. Cam looks as Clyde forwards the relevant information to his screen. Huh, that's, like, freaky. Guess it wouldn't hurt to pick up our tail bit once the scan's finished. Roughly 3 minutes passed. All data was collected and the ship had started to pick up its pace. Yo, Clyde, this song right here? Killer! So sad these guys aren't making music anymore. I do not really have opinions on music, but I shall take your word for it, Captain. One of these days, I need to give you a crash course on music stuff. Music, dude. Stuff's life changed. His speech was interrupted by a sudden change in the corner of his vision. The star changed, and it took barely even a second for it to shrink to seemingly nothing. Oh. For Cameron's human brain, as good as it may be, it took a few seconds to grasp the situation he was in. Clyde, thankfully, was ahead of him. Captain, I have raised the radiation shielding. We are experiencing the death of the star. Oh, we have another song to play. Hold on. Hold on.
Ground control.
Hold on. Which one is it? Damn it. It's this one. This is just a joke, mainly. Okay. He slammed the... okay. Clyde's voice expressed concern. Rare, but also telling. Shit! He slammed the throttle forward as fast as he could. It was a theoretical race against time. If they could just reach the point of escape, they'd be able to achieve a safe enough distance to take the long way home. There was, however, nothing they could do. Gravity surrounding the star became increasingly more intense, as the rapid expansion of gases exponentially increased in speed every second. The attempt to escape was left at near equilibrium, with gravity dragging the ship ever so slightly closer. Hours became seconds, days became minutes, years became hours. The ship was eventually enveloped by the blast, being hit with enough force to drag the vessel towards escape, although not without rendering the hull to pieces. Miraculously, or by perspective cruelly, the soliton barrier quickly reformed around the broken pieces, continuing to preserve the life of the captain and his companion, while also continuing to move the remnants of the ship in whatever direction they were moving. And at whatever unfathomable speed they were going, however improbable, they escaped the grasp of the now neutron star, and pivoted to embodying the literal definition of the expression, going nowhere fast. By this point in time, Cameron was completely unconscious, obviously having experienced more raw power in the span of a few minutes than any person ever has in their lifetime. And after 20 or so minutes spent hurtling through empty space, finally awoke upon atmospheric entry. The soliton barrier protected him from the lethal conditions of entry, but dissipated in response to atmospheric pressure, as it was designed to do. This abruptly ended the warp, leaving the semi-contained remnants of the vessel and its captain to scatter and fall to the planet. He didn't even have time to process where he was before his face made contact with fresh grass. Well, that was perfectly timed. For those who didn't understand, that was their Outer Wilds music that plays when the star is about to explode.
Oh.
Solace, Resonance Chamber.
I need to play that again.
Same. 11/9/2497. He jolted awake with an abrupt lurch forward. Hold on, I need to turn this down for myself again. Heart pounding, gasping for breath. The previously dull pain in his head had turned into a sharp one. The pain made it hard to concentrate, but as he stood up, he began to put it together. Slow steps forward, bare feet on cold metal, a hint of concern for his right hand's well-being as the metal gauntlet surrounded it. Wah! One blow was all it took to shatter the glass door. Any other part of him would think it was stupid to do such a thing, but this was the inconsolable part. He walked to the stone wall of the room, offering 3 blows and 3 words, sequentially more powerful. Give them back! The 3rd blow cracked the stone, leaving an impressive dent. He slumped to the ground, eventually letting the emotions progress. Everyone he knew, everything he loved, 345 years, all swept out from under him, like a magician demonstrating inertia with a tablecloth. There are many ways a man like him could process such an impossibly possible thing, but in this moment, only the natural response to cold. He cried. Aww.
Tricentennial Man, my beloved. It's such a good
I
lore
know.
document series. I feel so bad for character Cam.
Yeah.
To clarify, but
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's so like that's genuinely one of my worst fears. Like,
What is it? When I remember one time I was in a VC with Cam and I was like, hey, how you said that Cam has a daughter. How old is your daughter? And he was like, oh well, that kind of will give away a plot point. I was like, okay, this is hella important.
dead.
Dead.
Hee hee ha ha. Thing is, even if you went back to Earth and found like distant, like great grandchildren, they might have been taken by the Great Anomaly.
They might have.
They most likely were.
Exactly.
He has no one. Poor guy. Alright, the divinity and whatever changed their name to Saradath the Patron. Okay. Content warning: implied violence. Violence!
My name is Bloom.
It was so obvious. Oh my.
Is this still Okana? Is he like torturing people?
It is Okana. Yes, I think.
It's so, bro. I called it from the beginning in staff chat. That was my first guess.
I know,
Yeah.
like literally, I was like, okay, it's
We
glitched.
knew
I was
Okana
like,
from
it's
the
glitched.
last lore thing that we went through. But like, what the heck is he doing with Bloom?
Don't worry
Leave
about
Bloom alone. All right, we have Zinnia, Ball lore, Ball Cutter
it.
29.
Balling.
First 3 photos
Straight
occurred
up
during the fire, and the final
balling.
2 are Zinnia's thoughts a little later at the hospital. My lungs burn. I feel dizzy. Wait, Croy, did he get out? Oh, the art is so good. I gotta like go through it like this. Anyone look me, look anyone. Please, is any help me, is there? What is that? Can anyone else hear it? What? No. Croy? No! More tragedy. More violence. More of me being useless. No, Zinnia, you're not useless.
Zinnia, you don't deserve
Is that Eclipse's eyes? The more-
Yes, what I was gonna say. I was just about to say that.
I'm trying to figure out what this crack is. More tragedy, more violence.
Remember, she's her mom died for her, basically.
Oh, right, maybe that's... It's electric. Oh!
It's electric.
Oh. Hee hee. And then the flower. Oh, you're not useless. I don't want to see anyone die anymore. Oh, it's Marigold. Oh! My heart.
Oh, yeah, I would literally die for you.
When did this SMP get such good lore? Huh? When did we get such good people, like people making such crazy amazing stuff?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, Angel and Onyx, or no, Helena, rest in peace. I hope you're happy with your son, wherever you are. I'll miss you, Helena. Oh! Oh, right, Helena died, and oh. Angel tried to... Right. Happy lore challenge impossible. Alright, we have, we're gonna go through this, and then watch Frog's video, as the end. From Zenithra. Creepy and loud noises, mentions of blood. Watch the video after reading the first 3 tabs. 4th tab is a transcript. Alright.
I will have to go because I do have work tomorrow.
Go.
But I have stuck out for most of the stream. Thank you.
Thanks
this
for
was
being
fun.
your comment. Yeah.
So much
And my
lore.
mom lost her AirPods.
Also, I just posted new art in Lore Tuesday.
Hell
we'll
yeah.
get to
Alright.
that.
Have a good night, comment. Journal entry. The first encounter with ambush. It happened on a night when the house felt emptier than ever. Cold, echoing. Every floorboard groaning under my feet as I wandered from room to room searching for something I couldn't name. The moonlight made strange patterns on the walls and shadows coiled in every corner, thicker and darker than before. I didn't notice the temperature drop at first, but I could see my breath when I finally stopped in the kitchen, the window fogging with each exhale. That's when I heard it. A voice, not so much a sound as a vibration in my chest, like a low chuckle from the next room over. It came from everywhere and nowhere, seeping up from the drains, humming behind the glass in the cupboard, echoing in the rattle of the pipes. At first it was just my name, spoken with a strange, familiar fondness. You're burning the midnight oil, aren't you, kiddo? I froze, clutching the loaf of bread to my chest. The house seemed to lean closer, listening with me. The shadows of the walls writhed, and a shape began to form in the darkest part of my room. A silhouette, tall and broad-shouldered, with arms that swayed just a little too long, and eyes that glinted with a mischievous red light. You look just like your mother when you worry, the voice said, gentle and teasing, almost warm. Up late, fussing around in the kitchen, just like her. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I could feel the air thickening, pressing against my skin, filling my mouth with a coppery taste of fear and nostalgia. The entity stepped forward, its edges blurring, as if it were made of oil and smoke. Blood beaded on the counter, running in thin lines to pool at its feet. I blinked, and for a moment I saw a kindly grin, before it flickered into 1,000 sharp, gleaming teeth, then back again. I'm Ambush, he said. I'm family, in a way. Everyone needs an uncle to look out for them, someone to lean on. You look like you could use one. He moved closer, not walking but drifting, his arms open as if inviting a hug. His presence immense and oddly comforting, pressed against my mind like a heavy blanket. We could help each other, kiddo. Share the load. Fill up the empty places. You trust your old Uncle Ambush, don't you? I gripped the bread so tightly my knuckles turned white. What do you want? I managed to whisper. Ambush's smile widened, creases deepening around his eyes. Just a little trust. Let me in and I'll take care of everything. You won't ever have to be alone again. I backed away, heart hammering, but Ambush only winked, melting back into the shadows with a soft chuckle. I'll be around, kiddo. Don't forget, family looks out for each other. That was the first night I realized the house was never truly empty, and that sometimes the worst things will wait for you with open arms and a smile. The next few weeks. Journal entry, Ambush's advice. Ambush had been visiting more often, always slipping into the room when the lights are low and my mind is tired. He sits at the kitchen table or leans in the doorway, arms crossed, grinning like a favorite uncle with a secret. You're working too hard, kiddo, he drawls, his voice rich with fake affection. You've got to pace yourself. You know, your mother used to burn herself out too. Let me help. I know all the shortcuts. He offers tips, always with a wink. How to knead dough faster, how to keep the oven just the right temperature. The advice is good, but it always comes with a price. When I follow his suggestions, I feel him closer, hovering behind me, his hands guiding mine, his breath cold on the back of my neck. The bread tastes better, but I can't shake the sense I've lost something with every loaf. Family stories. Tonight, Ambush told me stories. He leaned in close as I stitched a patch onto my sleeve, voice soft and nostalgic. He spoke of my mother, her laughter, her stubbornness, the way she'd sneak sweets from the kitchen at midnight. I wanted to believe him. The details were so warm and real, like he'd been there all along. She always said you do great things, he murmured, his hand resting on my shoulder, heavy and ice cold. She'd want you to be happy and safe. Let me look after you, just like family should. But as he spoke, the kitchen lights flickered, and I saw his reflection in the window. smile too wide, eyes burning like coals. He squeezed my shoulder just a little too tight. I told him I was fine on my own. He only chuckled and ruffled my hair, his fingers lingering a moment too long. The deal. Ambush is patient. He never asks outright, never commands. Instead, he frames it all as a favor, a family obligation. I know you're lonely, kiddo. I can fill the silence, smooth out the rough days. You don't have to do everything alone. His words curl around me like smoke, tempting and suffocating. Just let me in a little trust, that's all. I see his gifts more often, bread shaped like hearts, knives arranged in neat, inviting lines, a scarf I never owned draped over my chair. He leaves notes in my handwriting. You can trust me. Family means never having to be alone. Each time I say no, Ambush just smiles wider, his voice all honey, his eyes never leaving mine. No rush, kiddo, I'll be here. That's what uncles do. But I keep my distance. I keep my will strong, because under the warmth I feel the chill of his true nature, and I know family, real family, never asks for your soul in return for love. Cracks in the mask. Ambush's visits have changed. He still calls me kiddo, still leans against the doorframe with that crooked grin, but now there's something brittle in his voice, a tightness in his smile. Tonight, as I rolled out dough, he watched in silence for a long time. When I glanced up, his eyes caught the light, not warm, but sharp and hungry like a wolf's. He tried to tell me a story about my mother, but his words tangled. She always said. His jaw clenched. I saw his hands grip the edge of the table so hard his knuckles went white, and for a split second, his fingers seemed too many, too long, curling into the wood like claws. You're making this harder than it has to be, he said, voice suddenly flat. His smile flickered, slipping into a sneer before snapping back into place. You know I only want what's best, your family. I kept my distance, pretending not to notice the way his shadow stretched across the ceiling, pulsing with each word. The air in the kitchen turned cold and sharp. Let me help you, he said. But there was a desperate edge to it now, a scrape of anger beneath the syrupy tone. The threat beneath. Ambush tried to be gentle tonight, humming a lullaby as he tidied the kitchen, but his patience was wearing thin. When I refused his latest gift, a knife with my name scratched into the handle, his eyes flashed a dark red, and for a moment the whole house seemed to shudder. He leaned close, breath cold as the grave. I could make all this so easy for you, he hissed. You don't want to see what happens if you keep shutting me out. I looked away, heart pounding. His reflection in the window twisted, mouth opening too wide, swallowing the rest of his words in a silent howl. When I finally turned back, he'd smoothed his face into a smile again, but his eyes never softened. The slipping mask. I feel Ambush's frustration mounting. The honey in his voice turns sour at the edges, the uncle act fraying with every refusal. His hands linger too long, grip too tight. Sometimes when he laughs, it's a guttural snarl, and his shadow on the wall spits into jagged teeth. He catches himself, always, and tries to brush it off. Just teasing, kiddo. Just a bit of family fun. But I see the cracks. I see what waits beneath the mask. The hatred, the hunger, the thing that's never been family at all. I don't know how much longer his patience will last, or how much longer I can keep pretending I don't notice. The ball. I'd only known Ambush for a week, but there was something about him that made me listen when he spoke. Earlier that day, rumors were flying about a grand ball, the biggest event in months. Everyone I knew was buzzing about it with excitement, and honestly, I was tempted to join in. The idea of an evening of music and laughter was hard to resist, but before I could make up my mind, Ambush pulled me aside. His tone was quiet, but there was a seriousness in his eyes I couldn't ignore. Don't go to the ball tonight, he said. I can't explain it, but I've got a bad feeling. Promise me you'll stay away. It might have sounded strange, taking advice from someone I just met, but something about the way he said it made me pause. So, even as friends tried to persuade me, I stayed home, replaying Ambush's warning in my head. As the night wore on, the mood in town shifted. Messages started pouring in, frantic calls, rumors of chaos and violence at the ball. By morning, the news had spread. Several people were dead, and many more were seriously injured. I felt a chill run down my spine, realizing just how close I'd come to being caught in it. Now I can't help but be grateful I listened to Ambush. Even after only a week of knowing him, sometimes the instincts of a near stranger can make all the difference. And now there is the video.
It's so dark tonight. I can't remember. I can't remember her face. Everything's wrong. The clocks keep blinking midnight. I think the house is bigger than it was yesterday. What is that? There's something in the alley. It looks like a child. Or a doll. No, not a doll. They're breathing. Barely. Skin's wrong. Cold, like wax. I think they're dead. No, wait. There's a heartbeat. It's faint. So faint. I know this face. That's me. That's my face. This body isn't mine. None of this is real. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be this. Help me. Please. Help me. Go back. The spell. The soul transfer spell. It's in my journal. I have to get back. Before. I have to go back. I have to go back.
Goddamn.
Escalation, in my honest opinion.
That was really good. I love audio log stuff. All right, we have from Sunny. Aw. Boom. Big ouch. The ball was evil and it made a big boom and now everyone is super duper duper hurt. And big ouchie. Also, Papa is a superhero and he flew like me when I'm a bee, but as a person. And he had super cool wings. I hope he's okay and didn't get burned too because it hurts a lot. My arm hurts again, but it doesn't look like how it did before. At least I'm not on fire anymore. It was icky. I smelled like Papa's breakfast bacon. That's crazy. But I don't think I would taste as nice. Oh, and I heard every time I walk, I think it's because of when I tripped in the floor after big boom. I think I get what Miss Oki means when she said I won't be safe until she is in charge.
Poor Sunny.
All right, between Freya and Okel's ball, if you had to pick one, which would be better to have?
Unironically, I would say this one just because of the great alcohol heist that I made. But you have to realize, very smart. This is canon.
Trolley problem, yeah. And Okel's only Belios died. All right, it is time. We are going to watch the frog
ball.
video. Let's go. We're gonna watch the whole thing. Oh yeah. Let me. There we go. Not that J Schlatt music. I'm getting muted for this.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Fire.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming.
This is so
to
fire.
town.
Everyone go like this video right now.
Yep.
welcome everyone to the Winter Ball, hosted by the Keepers of Solace. I want to thank everyone who worked so hard to make this possible, decorating this ballroom, getting the instruments set up, running the bar and the food, and I hope we all have a great evening. I'll see you all on the dance floor.
Better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
10 minutes of vacations.
Yes, he's on his way. He's got toys all over the sleigh. Santa is coming to town. Chestnuts
The whole time I was
roasting
just like,
on an open fire.
what is it? Just wandering around.
Feather. Well, maybe it's good
Jack
you danced. You
Frost
didn't dance. You
sniffing
might have
at
died.
your nose. Yuletide carols
Well, the dice getting
being
absolutely
sung by
wasted.
a choir, and folks
I wonder
dressed
why.
up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe
Because very, very
help
aged.
to make
Like,
the
been
season
aging for at least
bright.
like 3 months. Like, they should be tasting
Tiny
great.
tots with
That's
their
it.
eyes all
Pretty sure White Scarab
aglow
donated
will
some
find it hard
The
to
cut glacier
sleep
we get.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll live with that.
I mean, good.
You
They
asked.
know that
You asked personally so we will get cuts.
Santa's on his
I
way.
don't know what you're talking about.
He's loaded lots
Girl, I
of
saw the mod.
toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's
Fun water.
child
Oh yeah, piano was
is
so cool.
gonna
Oh
spy
my gosh, it's me and Marcello.
to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm
We're gonna look back at this at the
offering
end of the
this
season and
simple
cry.
praise to kids from 1 to 92.
This is making me want to cry now. This is making me nostalgic for an event that went so terribly.
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.
You guys are going to wish that we were back in this time next season. You're gonna wish that this was your problems.
Did not think of. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys.
I can't believe Jayshla didn't show up.
Frog, last faction meeting.
What kind of conversation?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry.
Me bringing up my baking as a hobby thing again. I don't bake 24/7. I think I spent more time baking Marcelo's birthday cake today than I have baked like the past month.
Right,
banana
right.
bread?
I believe you. I believe you.
I should make you more banana bread.
Oh, more baking. Right.
I could bake some tonight.
Oh, more baking. More baking, guys. More baking. Oh, hey, Frog.
I think they're a bit salty. You're not doing anything except for baking.
I'm doing lots of things. I listed off a lot of things that I do, and then I also listed off that I have a life.
Oh man,
Captain.
the news has heard none of it.
Yeah,
I
everyone was
spilled some
spying
wine.
on this.
Here you go.
Surprised I didn't drink.
The canon version, the canon reason for Mira is that she was just really curious about his relationship with Sarah.
And since we've no
Here,
place
have
to
you
go, let it
Don't worry
snow,
about it.
let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show
got you.
signs of
I
stopping.
made you
Someone
read.
jumped from the top
Walking
level.
some corn
That's me.
I went
popping.
there down 3
The
bottles.
lights are turned way down
You
low.
got kicked out?
Let it snow.
This is a
let it
formal
snow.
event. When they give you alcohol,
When we
you're not supposed to
finally
chug it. You're
kiss
supposed to
goodnight,
sip it throughout
how
the
I'll
day.
be going out in the
Horrible,
storm.
man.
But if
Free
you
alcohol.
really hold me
The bingo
tight,
card.
all the way
You can see
home
me
I'll
run
be
back with, like,
warm,
alcohol.
and the fire is slowly dying. And my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love me so, let it snow and snow.
Oh! The dice exploded for the first time.
When we finally kiss
Ignore
goodnight, how
We gotta
I'll
start telling
be
people not to
going
teleport
out the
during
storm.
things.
But if you really
Except for
wrap me
Freya.
tight,
No one else though.
all the way home I'll be warm.
Freya totally
There's
would be
people
the type of
sneaking
person.
behind the.
Yeah, Freya would be the type of person to like make it all glittery when she teleports too. Like, wee!
Yippee!
Oh, the fire
It's just
is
foreshadowing, that's all it
slowly
is.
dying, and my
Camp
dear,
working.
we're still goodbye. But as long
Throwing it
as
back.
you love me so,
Bring it back.
let it
Rotation
snow, let it snow, let it snow.
You stare a lot.
So,
Why did Marcella move
Let
to
it
get
snow.
worked on by
You stare a
Cam?
lot.
So, Frog.
Freya, I think you're gonna competition.
What?
The vision of what could have been when my brain jumps ahead and goes, Cam and Waters could dance.
Frog, is that your stalker that you were mentioning
Oh.
previously?
I don't wanna. Can I bring a friend?
Go for it.
One of y'all come with me,
I do.
please, please.
You could see me give me
It's just
handing
right
water
here.
to a random
That's
wine to a random person.
Yeah.
I believe Mira has sword training.
So I heard you recently lost your skin.
Just leaving bombs on the stage.
How'd
What
that
are you
go?
doing behind the
You guys
stage?
are lucky that they ran out of alcohol.
I hate everything.
You should be lucky.
You hate
Freya.
everything
Freya, I have a gift for you, Freya.
because you
A
lost
gift?
your skin.
Well,
What's
everything's
the
really
gift?
loud.
Is it Mira being sober?
Everything's
Oh.
just really like a lot.
Thank you.
A lot right now. Right. Would you like to go to the garden with me real quick?
Can I take a friend?
Go for it.
Okay, one of y'all come with me, please.
Someone took a half step out of the piano.
Oh,
Oh
how
no.
did you do that?
Oh no.
Sorry about that.
We're playing the whole J Schlatt Christmas album for this video. I love it.
So you lost your frog skin. What was that like?
I don't really know how to say it was bad.
Well, yeah, but that's not very descriptive now, is it?
Well, it got burnt in
What did
front
it
of me.
feel like?
Well,
You're asking very odd questions. I would just like to bring that up.
No, I'm just curious because I've heard things, seen things. Obviously you're here without your frog skin. I heard it was a clown, right? Named Violence, right?
yeah.
What was your relationship with Violence before
Crun.
then?
Hanging
We
around.
used to go to the faction meetings, and that's how I knew him at first. And then we started, I don't know, to like talk to.
Y'all were
people
hanging out
around.
a lot, weren't y'all?
Yeah. I thought he was my friend.
Didn't you betray him?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah?
hey, Frog, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
What was
You're-
that like, betraying one of your friends?
You're asking very intrusive questions.
It was. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I felt like I was not after I did it.
You were doing the right thing.
I'm okay.
You can go. I'm not holding you here.
I'm going to head up to the ballroom. I just want to be alone for a few minutes.
Okay.
Why do you think it was a bad idea? What exactly happened to make you feel like it was a bad idea?
Well, if I hadn't had betrayed him, then my skin wouldn't have been burnt. So
And you think that's your fault?
yeah.
Why is that?
Well,
You weren't the one who burnt your skin. The clown was.
yeah, but if the clown wasn't mad at me, then the clown wouldn't have done it.
You did what you did with good intention. The clown did not.
Good
Anyways,
Schlatt.
you
Yeah.
have fun with good intention.
The clown wasn't mad at me.
Oh, it's
The
Minnie.
clown did not. Anyways, you have
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. I'm gonna follow you inside because it's cold.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, you're the one who wanted to go outside.
It's not.
Gotta remember, you're not in control of other people's feelings.
I know.
Tops glisten and
I
children
never sent you the audio.
listen to
Well, okay.
me.
What Virgil was actually saying here was Well, okay, it was romantic to me.
He was talking about his game.
Yeah, he was like, Freya, you know that train game that I was talking about that was supposed to come out in January? Well, they just delayed it and it's not coming out until next year. And so now I'm gonna have to wait like 2 total years to play this train game.
Oh, bro, men are so simple. I wish.
I love him. It's coming out in 2027. Oh, that's so sad.
Oh man.
Oh, it's like 3. Oh, it was never coming out in January. I didn't remember exactly what you said. I'm so sorry, but yeah, this clip is very cute.
It's so funny. It's like so funny. Like it's Bray and Marcelo like having a nice talk, and then it's just Virgil with train
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, in lore, they're like, hee hee, I don't know how to dance. Hee hee, we're so close together. Hee hee. And then in reality, it's my train game. Just agony and despair. I would also mourn a good train.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
We're just staring at each other, and he's telling me about this train game.
Every Christmas card
The excellent fountain. It's kind of funny that we're just standing. I didn't expect that to be recording of us.
That is not a problem for me.
I would have moved my head around or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the bar is popular. Paid for your medical treatment. You were invited. So
You got cut off
it's a
because you
win-win
were
for you
what
guys.
drinking too much?
Yeah, I drink like 20.
Wait, is this the first time I've
You
seen you
drink
without your
20?
medical
Yeah.
mask? Is it
I think you might have a little problem.
The
Well, I'm not saying I don't have a problem.
Forgot the name.
Sunny in the
You just don't have a
How
problem
many
doing.
drinks have you even drank?
I mean, like,
One of my
clearly I have a
favorite parts of the
problem.
ball was when Cam and Feather were like trying to convince Sunny to give them the bottle that she was holding.
I finished off one, and then I've just been sitting.
You just look back at the bot and see
I only
how
had,
just
what,
how
like-
much how many bottles someone actually had.
Holy, Marcel was on it. He knew it was gonna happen. Look at that reaction time.
I only had what, like.
Oh my god!
What the?
Oh,
Everybody else,
Whoa.
everybody else, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
We need to
White
leave now.
Christmas playing over this is
Sunny,
so
go with
funny.
Alright, if you're try to get by the tree or not to the door.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
someone went way too crazy with Axiom with the fire.
Ross,
Get
you're not
out.
getting near the fire. Don't.
Are you
Oh, God,
an injured individual?
Jingle are there to
Oh
cover
my
the
God,
cursing.
I
That's so
know.
funny.
Anyone an injured
No.
individual?
Marcelo set the bomb.
Let me out.
Marcelo
Get
is
up,
eclipsed.
get up.
Oh no.
Is it doomed Yuri?
Oh no.
Sunny, Sunny, come with me, Sunny. Get on my
Mira,
back.
are you okay?
Yep.
The ceiling up, keep the ceiling up.
You heard
Well,
Sunny?
Your Christmases
07.
be white.
The slow pan. Someone went way too crazy with the fire.
This is no slices.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when
That was the perfect lights tree. Perfect song choice, by the way. Oh, and it's like slowed down version of Far. Or a pitch down. You know what? I can do it.
Guys, guys,
Oh,
Casimir.
oh.
That didn't break.
Why?
Oh man. Peak. Everyone go like this video right now, subscribe to Frog. Peak video. Alright, and then after this, is stuff post-ball. mostly.
Well, technically, there's one that I posted because I forgot to post it right after
there's
the ball.
other ball stuff that people, because I mean, this was like the day of, and for staff that knew ahead of time that was happening, they could write it out really fast. But Frog was like insane with this, by the way. But yeah, we will be going over regular lore Tuesday tomorrow, whatever, including stuff from the ball, whatever. Just wanted to get a little bit caught up. Now we just have December 11, 12, 13, 14. I went over the limit of lore. Oh my god. Okay, I can't spoil myself. I gotta stop scrolling. I went over the limit for lore this week, definitely. I have so many audio things of Freya.
Me too.
Doing
I
stuff.
went for 4, but that's because of the missing posters.
Yeah. All right. Frog, never worry. Honestly, never worry. I've been trying to stream multiple times a week now. Starting January, I'm hopefully gonna get in a better schedule because okay, right now I work a job that is during my normal stream hours. If Virgil gets a job before January, I can quit. Shh. Let's hope my boss isn't listening. But then I can look for a job that actually lets me work in the morning. We'll see.
Good night, chat.
But I hope you all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.
Bye-bye, chat.
It's the most wonderful time.